grip's a gamble. Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Hit stop quick, cruise move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, phase fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. The grip's a gamble, tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Hit stop quick, cruise move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, phase fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening as qualifying just coming to a close here this evening as the Full Throttle Outlaws ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out as their technical point season opener gets started here this evening in a very foggy, cloudy day here in Daytona. And for all these drivers, this is going to add to the, issues that they may see here at Daytona International Speedway when it comes to the bump drafting and beating and banging, battling out there, grinding every single spot out, trying to put yourself into a winning position here for not only the heat race, but also for our feature event as well. As our front row will be already made up, they will start on the pole here for this feature event. Everybody else will be, starting here in these heat races, trying to work their way to the front. As Radio Addict in the chat says, where's my Harrison fan club? Where's the Harrison fan club? Where they at? Where they at? Get in here. Show your love. Show your support. William in the chat as well says, go number 36 cheering on. The 36 right, our pole sitter here in heat race number 1. It is Steven Luttrell. Luttrell will start in that top spot. To his outside will be the 5 rider Matt Hayden as we're waiting for Hayden to get loaded into the sim. And then we will see the number. Let me see if we can get another look at it. There it is, the 33 ride of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. will start in third. To his outside will be the 22 of Haas Beverly. Brody Bente will start in position number 5 with Brian Cunningham there to his outside. Brandon Combs will start back in 7th with Brennan McNutt there in position number 8. Starting in position number 9, that is Eric Hegdal. Hegdal will start in position number 9. To his outside will be the 92 of Clinton Woodby. Starting back in position number 11 will be the number 24 of John Salino in that beautiful Johnny Johnson Motorsports number 24 ride. To his outside will be the 7 ride, the Firehouse Subs machine of Mr. Harrison Crosby. Harrison will start there in that 12th position as Justin Lee back in 13th, and David Trailer come home in that 14th spot here for our first heat race of the day. So heat race action is going to be 20 laps of racing here this evening. So each and every one of these drivers, they will get 20 laps to duke it out, 20 laps to try to put themselves up and into the winning position here this afternoon. Now it does have time on there. Let me change that because we're not going by time. We are going by laps. And yeah, top 20 note split. With that. All right. Let's go top 20 for right now. All right, so here we go. These drivers all ready to rock and roll. 20 laps of racing action here for heat race number 1. This will virtually set the stage for our A-Main feature event 100 laps later on this afternoon. As heat race number 1 will get prepared, this will make up virtually the inside row here at Daytona International Speedway. Heat race number 2 will be the outside row. So kind of in comparison into what you would normally see with the Gatorade duels here at Daytona in the real-life NASCAR series, in the Cup series that is, not with the truck series, but here with these trucks, we are running our duels here first before the season gets officially started. So for each and every one of these drivers, this is kind of just, have a good run, have a good race. Hope that you can give yourself a decent starting position in that A-Main feature event. Now, starting spot does not really necessarily matter too much here at Daytona, but nonetheless, it's going to be a great show and a great race for us here this evening. Here we go. Green flag is out. The 36 ride. Steven Luttrell. Steven gets a great launch. Great jump there. And for the 36 ride, we'll look to latest door-to-door of Matt Hayden down through 1 and nice and easy at a corner number 2 as all these trucks start to build up that speed, start to build up that momentum. You'll start to see the bump drafting down the back straightaways. Everybody going to be trying to push their way up to the front of the field here, hoping to find some dancing partners that they can work with and trying to make some moves to work their way up to the point. As you see the 28 ride already jumping out to the outside lane here. So Brandon Combs goes to the outside. He's hoping to get some sort of a run brewing here in that outside groove. Unfortunately, that outside lane just kind of falls apart a little bit here, but it looks like Hayden is going to kind of play out in front here as he does take that race lead, and he will lead lap number 1 here this evening. So Matt Hayden out in front. Hayden's got the top spot. He leads the way and leads the charge here in our first heat race of the evening. Steven Luttrell will be right there in second. Going to stick to the back bumper now of that 5 ride, but we'll wait and see if that 36th ride decides to start making some moves, or if maybe some of these drivers will play it a little bit smarter, a little bit safer out there on the speedway. Maybe just trying to put themselves into a spot where, you know what, we can battle later on. We can kind of wait patiently, wait for our moment to strike here later on in this run. We're only about to complete lap number 2 of 20 laps here in this heat race, so there is no pressure, there is no, hurry or rush to make a move, to battle hard here towards the front. So I think a few of these drivers probably just fairly content with where they're sitting, but you're always going to see some of those drivers that are going to push the subject, that want to be at the front of the field. They don't want to be mired back in traffic. They're going to continue to try to slice and dice, or try to get the outside lane roll in, or trying to find a gap underneath of a car in front of them to try to work their way that much closer to the front of the field. As Hayden does lead the way, though, leads the charge. Luttrell right there on his back bumper, bump draft in that 5 ride down and into corner number 3, as you do see the 63 of Brody Bente. Bente gets a little bent out of shape and washes up the racetrack right there. Now, luckily enough, he has a couple drivers out here that he can get kind of picked up by, and as they're 3 wide behind him, they're going to have nowhere to go, so they get in line here behind that number 63, and it looked like the 11 of Eric Hegdel was thinking about jumping up there, was thinking about going there to that outside groove, thought better of it. No, there it is. Okay, so he does jump to the outside groove, jumps in front of Bente. Bente's going to try to look to see if he can either get around him or try to push this 11 ride maybe to the front of the field. The 48 machine right there, or Brennan McNutt, rolls in position number 8 here on the speedway, but trying to get that outside lane rolling. You see Brandon Gomes up there, as well as that 22 of Haas Beverly. As Haas trying to get that groove going. He was kind of the one that got chewed up and spat out, kind of just like that, as he got washed up the racetrack down through corner number 3 and 4, and unfortunately that time got up into the outside fence, and luckily enough able to keep on battling here, but they do lose a couple drivers here in that outside lane as it kind of falls apart here again. Hegdel and that 63 rider Brody Bente, really nowhere for them to go out on the speedways. They're going to have to fall back here, maybe try to find a hole to jump down into the inside groove, because they got no helping hand really out there on the racetrack. You see the 92 of Clinton Woodby is in that outside lane, but there's really just nowhere for him to go, and he hasn't really drawn up to their back bumper, so it just seemed like he was a little bit more content rolling back there a little deeper. But now we do see Haas Beverly, Brandon Combs, that 48 rider, Brennan McNutt jumps right back out there as Don and Sons Garage comes in, shows the love, says Team Crosby cheering on. Team Crosby is Harrison right now, rolling in about the 7th position. He's the 5th truck on the inside lane as the outside groove trying to get something going again here, trying to get something figured out there on the speedway. And unfortunately for some of these drivers that have just been hugging the inside groove, that have been true to this inside lane, outside groove is finding something here, man. That number 48 is coming in a quick hurry. The 28 rider Brandon Combs looking to just try to push him right to the front of the field here himself, as they do pick up Eric Hegdel and that 63 rider Brody Bente once again in that outside lane. Now they do have the 22 rider Haas Beverly trying to get that outside groove going again here, and right there at the rear of the field in the 92 Clinton Woodby looking to take it easy, not wanting to put himself in a bad position early on here, just trying to take it easy and keep it breezy, as Matt Hayden leads another lap here in 6 laps down, 14 laps left to go here in heat race number 1. So still a lot of racing, still a lot of action left to be had here, and obviously 2 heat races on the docket here this evening. We still got a 100-lap A-main feature event later on this evening, so there is still a lot of racing. And even if you do run into issues, if you run into a problem and you do not get the finish that you were hoping for here in your heat race, luckily enough, there's really no points on the line here. You're still going to make your way into the A-main feature event. You're still going to race here for the dub at Daytona, as you do see the 48 and 28 navigate their way out in front, and that's going to push Brennan McNutt to the point here. So McNutt now out in front. He leads the way as Brandon Combs works right to his outside. Combs has his teammate there, the 11 right, the Red Bull machine of Eric Hegdal right on his back bumper. Hegdal trying to work with that 28 right, trying to push him now to the point, and they kind of got that outside lane rolling. They've kind of balanced out the car count here. Obviously, they would have loved to have kept that 48 right up there with them and dragged maybe a few more of them around that 5 right of Matt Hayden. Unfortunately, he did not stick up there in that outside lane for very long. Once he cleared that 5 right, he jumped right down in front of him, knew that that's a great spot to be. That's a power move right there for the 48 right, and now we'll look to try to hold these guys off. But man, what a run with the outside groove. Woo! Hagdal pushes Combs out in front. They were able to get a big enough drive down through the tri-oval that they both clear the 48 ride of Brendan McNutt. McNutt will fall back into that 3rd position. Is out in front. Our new race leader, the 28 ride of Brandon Combs, is now, here we go. They're still moving around. Hayden jumps to the outside lane. He says, you know what? I do not want to be sitting back here 4th in line on that inside groove. He jumps up to the outside. The 48 ride goes with them here, Brendan McNutt, and now you do see the 28 ride of Combs goes up there as well, kind of throws a bit of a block there on that 48, and now it's going to be teammates door to door down and out at corner number 4, but a big push to the back bumper of Brandon Combs as Brendan McNutt not backing down, going to keep his foot in the throttle and pushes that 28 right down through that tri-oval opening to try to open up a door here that maybe him and Hayden can work their way back around that 28 ride. And here we go. Hayden does jump down to the inside lane, leaves those two on the outside, a little high and dry out there on the racetrack, but they're going to quickly see Brody Bente work his way up and into that 3rd position. As the 5 of Matt Hayden falls back into position number 4, he'll get picked up by the 11 of Eric Hegdal. Hegdal now onto his back bumper as, man, we wish it wasn't foggy, man. I wish it wasn't foggy here at Daytona. These guys really need to get into track settings a little bit more and see kind of what their temperature's at and time of day and season and everything else, so that way we can avoid having this kind of fogginess out there on the speedway, so that way we don't have to worry about seeing these cars in a milky condition and not seeing it as clear as what we normally would. But for Brandon Combs, he sees perfectly fine out that front windshield. He is feeling definitely good here at the speedways. He's out in front trying to keep everyone else back there at bay. He'll continue to work his mirrors, make sure he kind of keeps these guys back there behind him. May have to move up or down or try to move around here, try to make sure that he can, you know, make some blocks here, try to keep him back there at bay, but I'm not sure if it's going to work, because right down to the inside comes that number 63 machine. So the heat wave ride of Brody Bente looking for the race lead as he drops down in front of Matt Hayden, and Hayden trying to push him out in front there. Unfortunately, they could not beat Brandon Combs back to the start-finish line as already 11 laps down here in heat race number 1, and the intensity is just going to keep on ramping up here for these drivers. There's no points on the line for winning this heat race, but a good starting spot here in our A-Main feature event is on the line. So I think for a lot of these guys, the game plan is just to kind of learn as much as you can here through this heat race, kind of see what some of these other drivers' capabilities are, trying to learn each other's tendencies and who's going to be good at getting pushed, who's going to be a good pusher, and who's going to be, you know, a driver that you want to work with out there on the racetrack late in this race to try and put yourself up and into victory lane there on the racetrack. As you sound tired today, I'm definitely a little bit tired. I'm trying to pound back a monster right now at the same time, but at the same point in time, you know, as soon as you yawn one time, you're toast, and we run into that quite often. It's just kind of contagious. Oh, we got a big monster though. We'll get that into us. Hope that will fix us up right here this afternoon. As out in front, Brandon Combs he continues to lead the way here. Combs continues just to have that outside lane locked down and locked up here, and hoping to try to keep that heat wave ride back there at bay. But Brody Bente, the shortest way around the racetrack. It's another good run through the center of corner number 3 and 4, and we'll battle right back down to the inside of that number 28. But it is still Combs who leads another lap. So 13 laps down. 7 laps left to go here in this one. 7 more laps of racing action here this evening in heat race number 1. Now we got 20 more laps for heat race number 2, and then our A main feature event, our A main just around the corner here for these drivers, for what is going to be a very exciting, man. You look at how these guys are battling now, how they're duking it out. You got to think when we get another, 14 drivers from heat race number 2 onto the racetrack at the exact same time, these guys are going to put on an absolute amazing show. As here comes the number 92 of Clinton Woodby. He goes to the 3rd lane and looks to work his way out in front. He has got the beautiful number 50 for the QH Designs ride of Mr. David Trailer on his back bumper. Is there 3 wide out in front as Clinton Woodby with the outside groove. Looks like it's going to work out into his favor. Looks like he may be able to steal this race lead away from the 28 of Brandon Combs and that 22 ride of Haas Beverly. And down the back straightaway, they'll keep on beating and banging, battling. But man, they're just hooked up here. If you're that 54 ride, you got to get a little bit nervous here that maybe you're not getting enough clean air and enough cool air to the nose of that 54 machine, and he may be running into some overheating issues here in a quick hurry. So even though he's pushing hard and getting Clinton Woodby out in front, you got to wonder if he's got to back off here, trying to get a little extra, good air into that hood and trying to cool that thing down. As you do see the number 24, John Salino, he comes from that outside lane down to the inside groove here. He'll pick up Haas Beverly and that 63 ride of Brody Bente. Bente, he's going to stick with that inside groove here as Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. and the 7 of Harrison Crosby right there as well. As now here comes Hayden. Big move for Hayden. Jumps right down to the middle here. He's going to take him 3 wide. He wants to try to steal a couple extra spots and try to work his way back out in front of this field. And he's going to have to make up quite a bit of ground as he battles 3 wide down through corner 3 and out at corner number 4. Things may get tight in a quick hurry. Luckily enough, though, everyone keeps it pointing in the right direction as they head back down into the tri-oval here. Only 4 laps left to go here in heat race number 1. So 4 more laps left to duke it out here in our first heat race of the day. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, if the night is going to continue on like this, if we're going to continue to see these drivers duke it out like they are here in this first heat race all evening long, we are going to be in for one heck of a treat here this evening, not only through our heat races, but that A-main feature event is going to make things very fun and very exciting for us here this evening as Clinton Woodby does drop down from the outside lane down to the inside groove here. Throws a big block on John Salino. John will have nowhere to go. Will stick to the back bumper of that winning bid Goldberg 92 ride of Clinton Woodby. As Woodby back down through the tri-oval across the line. That will complete lap number 17. So 17 laps down. 3 laps left to go here in our first heat race of the evening. You can see them trying to get that 3rd lane brewing again here. Trying to get something going here on that very high side as the 54 rider David Trailer, he's up there. He's hoping that he can get a big push here. He's got Brandon Combs on his back bumper. Combs trying to work him back into the battle here at the front of the field. The 48 ride right there with him of Mr. Brennan McNutt. As you do see Hagdal, Hayden, they're kind of just trapped right there in the middle of 3 wide, and really just not a whole lot of momentum for either of those cats. And unfortunately, they're kind of just stalled out there as a couple are tied together and the caution flag will fly. So our first yellow flag of the day here in heat race number 1 is Brian Cunningham and Justin Lee going to get tied together. Oh, brother, our boy Jay Lee tied up here in this one. Let's get another look at it here as, man, this fog is mad annoying here at Daytona, chat. I tell you, I'm sure you guys are having a hard time seeing which car is which as well. Things tight down at corner number 4. And it looks like maybe Lee travels up. Nope, 32 comes down. And as he does, he just kind of gets into that right rear quarter panel of the Coors Banquet. Number 38 ride. That's going to spin Justin Lee up and into the outside fence there. Really solid hit there for that 38 ride. No fault of his own, really. Just kind of trying to mind his P's and Q's, rolling that inside lane. He's in there behind Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. and just hoping that the inside group can get rolling here. Unfortunately, that's all it takes, man. Just that little bit of contact and just turning it around out there on the speedway up into the outside fence for Brian Cunningham. I do believe he ends up into the infield fence here as well. So he ends up getting quite a bit of damage here for this number 32 ride. Let's take a look here at the 32. So Cunningham rolling the middle groove here on the back bumper of Matt Hayden. Down at corner number 4, you see him push up, then wash down the racetrack, and that's where a little bit of that contact's made, and unfortunately bounces off that number 38 down into the infield fence, and a huge hit there for Cunningham. You see the smoke already rolling out of that number 32 ride as you'll have to take that thing down pit side for potentially an extended period of time trying to get it repaired. So our first caution flag, though, late in the race here in this one is Kason Bozeman coming in. What's good, Mr. Bozeman? Says, what's up, Don? What's up? What's up? Bozeman, how are you? How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day. Anna in the chat as well says, what's up, my peeps? What's up, Anna? How are you, Mrs. Alessandro? How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful, wonderful Friday as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to rumble here for our first restart here of heat race number 1. Woo, doggy, this is going to make things very exciting because this is going to be overtime, but the big question mark will be is how much time will they have here? This session only has a certain amount of time, so they still have 7 minutes left here, so that is good news for these drivers that they have enough time here in this heat race that they can go to battle, that they can duke it out and probably have, 1 or maybe 2 green-white checkers to try to finish out this heat race. Now, hopefully it is a one and done here. We don't want to see the night get prolonged too much here with heat race caution flags and everything else, so we'll have to wait and see how that gets played out here. Normally you do this on separate nights. Normally you do a little bit longer and do 2 longer heat races and then set the stage for the next week, kind of like what Daytona does. But here in this one, they're going to jam-pack it all into one night. Kind of surprised me, caught me off guard a little bit, but nonetheless, we're here. We're going to put on a great show and a great event for everyone to enjoy here this evening with heat races and a feature event here from Daytona International Speedway. And finding how many NASCAR overtime laps we do here this evening, we're slotted for 140 laps of racing action here from Daytona International Speedway, which is, 60 laps shy of the Daytona 500. So, I mean, we're rolling into that, 360 miles here at Daytona International Speedway for the evening, which is going to make for some great racing, some great fun here this evening, and going to be a great, great show for everybody to enjoy here today. As Clinton Woodby, John Salino, 1 and 2 out there on the racetrack, ready to rock and roll, ready to go to green flag battle. And here in this one, as radio says, come on, Harrison, smooth is fast, smooth is fast. As Daddy Doc in the chat showing the love says, looking forward to getting the number 46 out on track. Ooh, baby, we can't wait to see Daddy Doc out there as well to see if he can try to work his way up and into, maybe the winner's circle, maybe just in the heat race, maybe in that feature event. We'll have to wait and see what Mr. Daddy Doc has to offer us here this evening in that 46 truck, as the lights are off the official iRacing Pace truck, and we will get ready to go back to green flag racing here the next time by the start-finish line. So for each and every one of these drivers, battle's on, man. The battle is on. Who's going to jump up here? Who's going to be able to make the right moves, find themselves in the right spot, and try to pick up our first heat race win of the evening here at Daytona International Speedway? As Clinton Woodby, John Salino, 22 of Haas Beverly, the 63 of Brody Bente, our top 4 out there on the racetrack. David Trailer is back in 5th with the 28 ride of Brandon Combs, rounding out our top 6. Eric Hegdel, Brennan McNutt, Matt Hayden, Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Stephen Luttrell, Justin Lee, Harrison Crosby. Bringing up our 13-car field here as it looks like Brian Cunningham has taken his car back down behind pit wall and out of this heat race. As here we go, nice and easy, down and through the Geico restart zone. Here we go, back to battle. Great launch right there for Clinton Woodby. He'll quickly slide down in front of John Salino and hope that the inside lane can just kind of dominate here for the next, lap and 3/4 here to try to put himself up and in to the first win here in our heat race action. But the outside lane trying to get wound up here. Brody Bente is going to stick with it, but they're going to pick up the 54 as David Trailer jumps right in front of that 63 ride. And now we're going to see a couple 4-car packs being built out there on the racetrack. And now it looks like Salino's going to leave the 92 of Clinton Woodby high and dry, but now they're all shuffling around. Look out, it's going to get tight down and out of corner number 4 as each and every one of these drivers try to work themselves out in front, but there they go, stacking up and crashing back down across the line. The big one here in heat race number 1 here this afternoon. Harrison Crosby down through the infield. Eric Hegdel, pretty good damage there for the 11 ride as the 7 still trying to catch that thing. Finally able to get it under control, but Stephen Luttrell there as well. We'll take a look back and see kind of how this all happened. We knew it was going to get wild. We knew it was going to be crazy. I mean, these guys are battling for the heat race win. I think they may have to be reminded of that it's a heat race win. There's no points that I'm sure of on the line here, and we battling this hard and going this crazy is pretty wild here, but you see them kind of duking it here, and I don't know if the 22 of Haas Beverly here, if he gets a big shove from the 48 ride or if he's just continuously being shoved by the 48, but it looks like they're going to kind of get tangled together. Yeah, it's hard to see, but yeah, here we go. Okay, so you do see the 48 all over the back bumper of that 22 of Haas Beverly, and Haas, unfortunately, just kind of moving around here a little bit, kind of getting jacked up, going over the bumps here out of corner number 4, and as it kind of does, truck just kind of gets bent out of shape, and with the 48 ride still pushing him, kind of just knocks him back up the racetrack across the nose of John Salino, and from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong as everyone else just nowhere to go here. David Trailer, Brody Bente, you're going to see Combs gets collected here as well. Big hit here for Combs as he's going to wash up the racetrack. It looks like he's still going to bounce it hard off the outside fence here. Hayden's in there. Hegdel's in there. The 38 ride of our boy, Mr. Justin Lee, he's in it. The 36 ride of Stephen Luttrell, he's in it as well. And unfortunately for a lot of these drivers, just trying to somehow or another navigate their way through that chaos. Let's see if we can get another look here as we chase in with the 7 ride here at Crosby and that Firehouse Subs ride. He's a little farther back, so he's going to kind of see it start to happen. Everyone starts wrecking, and he just gets out of the throttle, gets sideways, down through the grass. Oh, still sees him wrecking. He's still just trying to hang on to it, keep it rolling, keep it pointing the right direction. Now he's going through that grass, and now he's got dirty tires. Oh, hang on to it, finally. Gets that truck under control and gets it rolling, but boy, oh boy, he may need a new pair of shorts out there on the racetrack. And for a lot of these other drivers, man, just absolutely nowhere for them to go. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Mr. Matt Hayden, our early race leader here this evening. All of a sudden, he doesn't really see much happening, and all of a sudden, there's a bunch of cars moving down and out of the way, and all of a sudden, there's a 22 ride of Haas Beverly parked right in his lap. Nowhere for him to go. And unfortunately, a lot of these drivers have that same story and get pretty tore up here for our second caution flag here of this first heat race of the evening. And I believe that means we're going to go to another NASCAR overtime here. So another NASCAR overtime here for heat race number 1, as this is our second of 3 overtimes here. Probably I mean, I don't know. For heat races, man, I don't see why we would even have one green, white, checkered. I mean, I may be biased in this one, man. I'm sure these guys want to duke it out and hope to get there under green flag conditions, but man, I mean, for a starting position, that really doesn't mean very much. A lot of these drivers, even if they do qualify up towards the front of the field here, we're going to see a lot probably jump to the back of the pack and hope to just kind of cruise control back there deeper in the field like we did see Woodby do early on here in this heat race. So even if he's to probably win this heat race, he's probably going to go to the rear and kind of just sit there and try to keep him tire safe, keep the car safe, and try to survive throughout this main feature event. So very, very interesting one, but nonetheless, we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here and see who's going to be able to find their way up here into the first heat race win of the evening. Would be Brennan McNutt. John Salinos there in third with Brandon Combs there in position number 4. David Trailers back there in 5th with Stephen Luttrell now in 6th. The number 63 of Brody Bentes in 7th with Harrison Crosby in position number 8. Justin Lee, Eric Hegdel, Matt Hayden, Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Brian Cunningham, and Haas Beverly bringing up the rear of the field here in this one. So still 14 drivers ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here in this one. As radio says, number 7 driving that bald eagle, driving the bald eagle out there as Heath Brittingham. Is it Heath or Heth? I don't know. But it says, let's go, Crosby. Good save, Harrison. Great save there throughout that last wreck for Mr. Harrison Crosby as he's able to keep that truck out of trouble, keep it clean, and able to get ready to rock and roll, ready for another big restart out there on the Speedway. As here we go, Bozeman says, let's go. Number 7 cheered on Harrison as well, as Harrison looking to try to navigate his way up to the front of the pack, but nice and easy. Down and through our Geico restart zone, we will get ready to rumble here. Another green, white, checkered in for each and every one of these drivers. That means 2-lap shootout here. If we get back to that white flag, the next flag will end this race no matter what. But for each and every one of these drivers, they gotta get there again. We were so close last time. We made it there out at corner number 4 before the second green, white, checkered caution flag was displayed. But for each and every one of these drivers, man, this one may happen a whole lot sooner. You can already see some movement as the 48 rider Brennan McNutt out in front gets a big shove from the 28 of Brandon Combs. But now here we go, outside lane starts to build up that momentum. The 36 ride all over the back bumper here of Clinton Woodby, gonna push Woodby right back out in front. But do we see Stephen Luttrell trying to make a move here, try to slice and dice, maybe drop down to the bottom? Where will he go? Down and out at corner number 4 as they're so close to going around right there. Luckily enough, they're able to hang on to it and back down across the line. They will see that white flag fly. Or actually, the checkered flag is going to fly. Okay, so checkered flag is going to be displayed. So it wasn't a green-white checkered, it was a green checkered finish here this afternoon for heat race number 1. And I do believe that is going to be because the time limit may have been expired. Yeah, I do believe that is the reasoning. So it was going to be a green-white checkered, but the time frame, unfortunately, ran out for each and every one of these drivers. So that one lap will complete our first heat race of the day. As let's take a look back and see how that one played out, as that will kind of set the stage here for our main feature event. As each and every one of these drivers, man, put together a heck of a show, a heck of a race for us there, and see if we can get a good look at it. I don't know why it's not showing the results for heat race number 1. All right, interesting. Apparently that does not want to work, so that is going to be something we'll have to look into and see how that's going to get figured out. But nonetheless, we saw Clinton Woodby pick up the dub there in our first heat race of the day. Now we'll figure out who will pick up our second heat race win here this evening as well. As starting on the pole here in heat race number 2, it is the 56 ride of Jack Drucker. Drucker will start in that pole position here in our second heat race of the evening. To his outside in the 0-1 ride, that is Rooster Rodden. Starting in position number 3 in the number 21 machine, the mellow yellow ride, that is Zach Kelly. And then to his outside, the shitty number 69 machine, it's Jesse Wise who will start there in position number 4. Starting back in that 5th position, the 97 truck is Colton Hardy, and the QH Designs winning bid ride there in 5th. To his outside will be the Mobile 1 number 77 Dodge Ram of Evan Schilling. Starting in position number 7 in the 6th ride, it's Rusty Modesty Days. Outside in the number 76, the Cartoon Network machine, is Shane Morris. Starting back in position number 9, that is Joe Yakeson. Running at our top 10 in the 17, it's Bruce Bernard. Starting in the 11th position in the beautiful QH Designs number 46 ride, it's Skylar Berry. Skylar Berry ready to rock and roll. Here is the Daddy Doc 68 in YouTube there, ready to rumble this afternoon. You'll have Nate Cogdell there to his outside. Beautiful looking ride there for Nate Cogdell, as well as we do see the 59 machine. That is Trevor McManus. McManus will start back there in that 13th position, and it's Andrew Hainsley bringing up the rear of the field back in 14th. As here we go back to green flag racing as heat race number 2 is underway. Heat race number 2 gonna get fired off here this evening as Jack Drucker out in front. Drucker's got the top spot. He's hoping to try to keep these guys back there for as long as possible, but he wants to just see things kind of get a little bit more spread out, maybe a little bit more easy here, as obviously we saw the carnage and a little bit of that mayhem throughout the closing laps of heat race number 1. Will that be contagious and see that kind of follow on through here to the start of heat race number 2? We'll have to wait and see, as everybody still just putting on a great battle for us. And some big moves there. Colton Hardy goes from the high side down to the inside, drops down low, and he's going to steal that top spot away from Jack Drucker. So Drucker, unfortunately, will fall back into second as Colton Hardy leads lap number 1 here this evening. So Hardy out in front, Drucker's there in second, and now it's on like Donkey Kong, man. Stacked up 2 by 2 by 2 throughout the field here. Even throughout that first heat race, we did see kind of the, outside lane kind of fall apart fairly early on. Kind of had to get rebounded, had to kind of battle back a few times to kind of get things rolling. But here in heat race number 2, I don't know if it's just, drivers kind of learned from, the first heat race mistakes, kind of figured out what they were doing wrong and how they needed to fix that and how to make that a little bit better on this outside lane to get things rolling here and stick here right there to the outside of that inside group. Is this time by the start finish line, Jack Drucker will lead lap number 2. So Drucker leads the second heat race of this feature event, the second lap of it here this evening, as the QH Designs winning bid number 97 of Colton Hardy will continue to battle there to his inside as the winning bid 200 here this evening from Daytona International Speedway for our first race of the season, man. Our first points race of the season here with the Full Throttle Outlaws. And for each and every one of these drivers, obviously, first points race, the intensity's up. It's Daytona International Speedway. There's going to be some fireworks throughout that feature event here this evening. Now, we're hoping that once the feature event gets started, that maybe this fog dissipates, maybe they get rid of the fog, maybe the track will kind of change a little bit, make it a little bit easier for all of us. But as of right now, unfortunately, the fog is just something that we all have to deal with here. Let's see if we can jump on board a couple of these drivers, even jump out in front here with Colton Hardy. You can see that fog and how it's somewhat affecting these drivers. It's not too bad when you're in a pack, but if you're starting to spread out a little bit more, you can kind of see how maybe it gets a little bit foggier on corner entry and sometimes around these corners, and just maybe enough that you may not quite see a car out there on the racetrack already spun around or something here, especially, coming down into this tri-oval or anything else, and just could mess you up that little bit. The visibility could play a factor here this evening, as you do see Shane Morris here. Morris trying to get this beautiful number 76 ride, that Cartoon Network machine, up to the back bumper here of the Shitty Cooler 69 ride of Mr. Jesse Wise. Wise, though, just continue to battle here in that outside lane. Looks like they're kind of all cool, calm, and collected right now. We haven't seen too many lane switches here for these drivers. They've all been fairly content with kind of where they're running and where they're kind of sitting at right now. I think they're kind of just waiting and minding their P's and Q's, waiting for their time to strike here, maybe a little bit later in this heat race. And for right now, things just kind of calm, but too wide, which I'm still quite surprised with. You always think of when you want to kind of slow things down a little bit and maybe not put yourself into a high intensity situation or a high likelihood of issue happening out there on the racetrack and getting collected in the big one here in our second heat race of the evening, then maybe you would want to fall back here, maybe try to make it a little bit more single file, but they're going to stick with it, just 2x2 out there on the racetrack, as you did see that beautiful 46 ride of Skylar Berry get fairly loose there out of corner number 2. That is something we'll have to keep an eye on there, as obviously losing a little bit of traction there. Luckily enough, he's able to hang on to it, keep it pointing the right direction, as the 97 ride of Mr. Colton Hardy still battling door to door here with Jack Drucker. Is Drucker still battling there to his outside man? This front row just looking to keep on slugging it out here and hoping that as they continue to battle just door to door and staying right there with each other, that they're clicking the laps off in a quick hurry and trying to see that white flag fly sooner rather than later here in heat race number 2. As Mandy in the chat says, let's go number 46. Cheered on Skylar Berry, as Berry looks like he is going to make a move. No, he's going to say, down with the inside lane. He's going to stick there to that double yellow line down the bottom side of the speedway and take that shortest way around the racetrack, as he's right there on the back bumper of that beautiful number 87 of Joe Yakes. Yakes right there in front of him, sticking there with them, as there you go. You do see that beautiful Yanks 87 on YouTube. Dodge Ram right there in front of Skylar Berry, as we ride on board with Berry as he's trying to navigate his way up to the front of the field here, as these guys putting together a great show, great race for us here in this one. Another heat race that's kind of flying on by. We do like this. We love to see these green flag laps being laid down. Obviously, we know that craziness may unfold here late in the heat race, and for each one of these drivers, I mean, if they gotta know, they were watching that first heat race. They kind of saw, only a couple caution flags and how quickly their time ran out in that session, where it turned their green-white checkered into a green checkered finish and virtually ended a lap sooner than what they were planning on. And unfortunately, I think for a few of those drivers, the runs that they were building up, the opportunities that they were hoping to have heading into that final lap, all of a sudden just went out the window as the session came to a close, and they did not get to finish out obviously the final lap of that race. But nonetheless, Jack Drucker, though, out in front here, still battling door to door there with Colton Hardy, Evan Schilling and Zach Kelly on their back bumper, as we do see Modesty and Rooster Rodden back there in 5th and 6th. Bruce Bernard, Joe Yakes, Skylar Berry, Nate Cogdell, our top 10 out there on the racetrack. You do see Trevor McManus trying to work his way up there, as well as Shane Morris and Jesse Wise. Andrew Ainsley right there bringing up the rear of the field there in that beautiful number 29 ride, as he's a little farther back here, kind of playing it safe, just trying to hang out far enough where he's still getting the draft. He's still hanging with these guys. He's within distance that he can pull up into them and battle here for positions here throughout this heat race. But at the same point in time, if there is something to happen in front of him, he may be able to avoid it. He may have that extra little bit of time to make some moves and keep himself out of the craziness, says Heather, or Brittingham coming in says, let's go. Number 7, number 33, the number 3, and the 24 ride. All right, so a slew of drivers here from Brittingham to cheer on this afternoon. Cheered on, obviously, Harrison Crosby and the 33 ride. Unfortunately, neither of them are here in this heat race. They were in heat race number 1. I do believe the 3 ride is also in the first heat race or has not been here today. I don't know if I've seen a 3 ride out there on the Speedway. I don't know if that's Keith Prince or not, but the 24 ride as well of John Salino already out there in heat race number 1. So a lot of those drivers that Brittingham is cheering on has unfortunately all done their heat races, but they still got their A-main feature event to come up, and they'll love your support and seeing you cheer them on and hoping for the best for them here this evening, as this is kind of going to be a wild feature event, man. 100 laps with all 28 drivers out there on the Speedway, beating and banging, battling here this evening for what is going to be a very, very exciting show, a very fun race here this evening, as Jack Drucker out in front, Zach Kelly, Colton Hardy, Evan Schilling, our top 4 out there on the racetrack, just continue to stay right there tight together, not really making any moves here. We haven't really seen anyone else try to jump up there, but we do see the 59 ride now trying to get the third groove rolling, as Trevor McManus trying to get something brewing here in that outside lane, trying to get that third groove going here. And right now, I mean, he doesn't really have too much help up there, but he does kind of find a hole, falls down in front of that number 17 of Bruce Bernard, and in behind the 0-1 ride. But now you do see the 21. Oh, baby, Zach Kelly gets to the outside here of Drucker. Drucker, unfortunately, nowhere for him to go, as he's going to get split, falls right down through the middle, and he's going to fall back quite a few spots here. Looks like he may get picked up. I do believe that is the is that the 0-0 ride of Mr. Nate Cogdell right there in the middle as well. So Cogdell going to pick him up and try to get that second lane rolling here. Try to see if they can keep on battling 2 wide, 3 wide out there on the racetrack, as they're down 12.5 laps here and only 7.5 laps left to go here in this heat race this afternoon. And Colton Hardy continues to lead the way here. Hardy, Evan, Schilling, 1 and 2. Out there on the racetrack, Schilling's been stuck right there on the back bumper of this 97 truck, right from the drop of the green flag here. And he's been right there with them, has not looked back, has not even really made a move or tried to make a move here, as Brittingham says, I meant 77, not the 33. Okay, the 77 ride of Mr. Evan Schilling out there on the Speedway. Yeah, all the different teams here, all the different numbers. It's easy to get them mixed up. So the 77 of Evan Schilling. Yeah, Schilling's rolling nicely out there on the Speedway, putting together a pretty good run, pretty solid drive out there on the racetrack, because I do believe that is the Johnny Johnson Motorsports team of Mr. Keith Prince, John Salino, Harrison Crosby, and Evan Schilling here this evening, as the Johnny Johnson Motorsports, the JJ Motorsports team, looking to put together a great run, great drive here this evening. We'll see if they can work together as a team and try to put themselves up into the winner's circle. Maybe not here in these heat races, but in that feature event here this afternoon. Is out in front, it's Colton Hardy. Still hold on to the top spot here. Schilling, unfortunately, just sticking right there in second, and now you're starting to see some movement to his back bumper, as here comes the 6 rider, Rusty Modesty. Modesty goes to that outside groove. Colton Hardy will jump up in front of him. Unfortunately now for Evan Schilling, no helping hand here to his front bumper, kind of just a lone duck out there, and unfortunately sees that outside lane just power right on down and around him. But you do see the 6 ride. He's going to leave Colton Hardy all by his lonesome, as here comes Nate Cogdell, here comes Skylar Barry. They're looking to race their QH Designs rides up to the front of the field here as they work to the back bumper of Rusty Modesty, and they're going to push Modesty right out in front as the Sinclair Dyno Care number 6 ride takes the race lead with only 5 laps left to go here in heat race number 2. And you see that third lane starting to brew again. Joe Yakes is up there. He's got that 59 ride right there with them. Trevor McManus pushing the 87 machine in that third group, trying to get this a three-wide battle out in front. As a lot of movement now. Everyone's feeling that intensity raise up, and everyone knows they're running out of time. If they want an opportunity to try to win this heat race, they got to make some moves. They got to give it everything they got. Take every run, take every opportunity to try to work yourself a little closer to the front here and hope that you put yourself into a position that maybe you can try to win this heat race. But for Modesty, he does jump out in front, but now there's contact. Look out. There goes the 6 ride down onto the apron. Modesty goes around. No caution flag as he's down on the apron. He will wash back up towards the racetrack. Luckily enough, able to keep it rolling. He gets it collected. Unfortunately there for Rusty Modesty, he will fall all the way back to the rear of the field here. But you know what? We're going to play this back because that was a wild save right there. I don't know how he saved it, but man, Modesty able to get pushed out in front, and now we do see the caution flag fly. We will take a look at it and see kind of what happened here as Modesty. Why is it not let me click on to that 6 ride here? All right, there you go. So it looks like Modesty may just run a little bit more of the middle. Cogdell goes more to his outside, stays in the throttle, and just kind of gets up into that right rear, hooks him a little bit, finally ends up going around, goes for a couple loop-de-loops here down into corner number 1. Now, luckily enough, he's able to, avoid any major damage, but then all of a sudden, this kind of keeps on going as we're going to see Skylar Berry consume the race lead here, and I believe 3, 4 wide. They're slicing and dicing, they're bouncing off one another, and eventually looks like Barry goes upside down. Oh no, hang on to the Dr. Pepper QH Designs ride as Barry goes for a wild one down here on the back straightaway as just kind of loses a little bit of momentum, has no pushing help to his back bumper, and just loses a lot of momentum here for Skylar Barry. And unfortunately, you're going to see Cogdell kind of scrape the outside fence, kind of washes down, kind of almost into his door right there. I think that kind of faked out the 46 ride a little bit. But you're going to see Joe Yates. He kind of gets into the back end of the 0-0. He bounces off the fence. He kind of moves down the racetrack, and as he does, just going to kind of get into that right rear quarter panel of the 46 ride. That's what gets him turned around. The air is going to go underneath that truck, lift it up, and he goes for a wild ride down and into corner number 3 as he does his best Tony Hawk impression as he's going to ride the rim there and do a little rim grind all the way down into corner number 3. But a scary ride and a great battle, but definitely not what you want to see as you're kind of leading the charge here. You're battling for the top spot coming down and out of corner number 2, and before you hit corner number 3, you're upside down and going airborne as Liz right on board here with Skylar Barry. We'll see what he can see here on the helmet cam of the 46 ride. Is right here, you can see in the mirrors, you can start to see around him that he's getting surrounded, then all of a sudden gets hooked, upside down, eats the pavement, goes for a wild ride. Oh, man, tough break right there for the 46 machine at Barry as he'll be looking to get some serious damage repaired and hoping to try to get back out onto the racetrack here in a quick hurry as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing here in a quick hurry. But honestly, lights are on, caution lights for the first time here in heat race number 1. It looks like we're going to go through maybe the same kind of strategy, the same kind of things that we did with heat race number 1. It's funny how things kind of work out that way as 2 heat races, 20 laps each. We kind of get down into those nitty-gritty moments here late in these heat races, and all of a sudden, the caution flags start to fly, and this may not be the only green-white checker. We may be going to multiple, and that will bring that time frame kind of right back into play here for each and every one of these drivers as we can get that time brought back up. All right, let's see if we can get that time brought up. There we go. All right, so you see the timer there now as well as you only got about 7 minutes left to go here in this one, and that's kind of where we were throughout that first caution flag of our first heat race of the day as well. Unfortunately, these yellows, they just chew up so much time. They slow things down so much out there on the racetrack, doing 2 or 3 pace laps here at 2 minutes a lap almost. I mean, it just kind of chews away at that time. So for each and every one of these drivers, they got to know that, hey, if we want to see this heat race end under the green flag conditions, we got to make at least one good green flag lap. We got to get back to the white flag and then let all hell break loose. But if we do see another yellow flag, it could be kind of the same scenario where we run out of time. We may even run out of time throughout the yellow flag conditions, so we'll have to keep a close eye on it as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to battle here in heat race number 2 this afternoon. Our second heat race of the day about to come to a close, as they did technically just complete lap number 19. So when we go back to green flag racing, that will be the end of our scheduled time frame of 20 laps here this afternoon. Now we're into NASCAR overtime, where it will be a green-white checker. These drivers will have a 2-lap shootout to try to duke it out here this evening and try to put themselves up and into the winner's circle here today. As out in front, Colton Hardy will look to try to keep the QH Design 0-0 of Nate Cogdell back there at bay. Jack Drucker's right there ready to pounce as our pole sitter sits in that 3rd position. The Cartoon Network number 76 of Shane Morris there in 4th. And then we do see the 21 of Zach Kelly, the Shitty Coolers number 69 of Jesse Wise there in 6th. Trevor McManus back in 7th. And we do see Bruce Bernard there in 8th. Followed by the 0-1 of Rooster Ronin, the 77 of Evan Schilling, our top 10. Joe Yakes back in 11th with Skylar Berry, Andrew Hainsley, and Rusty Modesty bringing up the rear of the field here in our second heat race of the day. As here we go. Getting ready to see the green flag redisplayed for our first restart of the second heat race of the afternoon. Alrighty, here we go, down through the Geico restart zone. Green flag quickly back out into the air as a great restart on that out inside groove. The 0-0 of Nate Cogdell. Cogdell with a great launch, great restart. He will stay door to door with that 97 of Colton Hardy. Unfortunately for Hardy, didn't really have too much help to his back bumper, but now we do see Drucker. He's going to jump up into the outside lane. He may push this number 97 ride out in front, or he may just try to jump up and leave him high and dry out there on the speedway. We'll have to wait and see, as he was looking a little bit more underneath of him there. I thought maybe we were going to see a move out of that 56 ride as they head back down into corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. And this is where we got to keep them together, boys. Keep them together. Keep pointing the right direction. Down and into the tri-oval and across the line. The white flag will be displayed. So our final lap here in heat race number 2 here this evening as Colton Hardy, Jack Drucker, Jesse Wise, 1, 2, and 3. But here you go. You see Drucker jump to the outside groove. He's got that 69 ride of Wise to his back bumper, pushing him out in front as you see the 3rd lane starting to brew as the 6th ride of Mr. Rusty Modesty jumps up there. You see Drucker out in front. He can try to block 1 lane, but he can't block 3, but he can definitely wreck 3 as they pile in there in the big one here on the final lap as they'll drag race back to the start-finish line, though. It's not going to be too much of a drag race as the number 56 of Jack Drucker out in front. He will see the checkered flag fly. So Drucker picks up the dub here in this one with Shane Morris. Looks like Bruce Bernard's going to come home in 3rd. Joe Yanks, Nate Cogdell, our top 5 here. Colton Hardy's going to come across the line back in 6th with Trevor McManus, Skylar Berry. But let's take a quick look back here. We're going to see how this all kind of got started, because all of a sudden things were getting a little wild in a quick hurry as Modesty jumps to the outside groove here. See if we can even play this forward a little bit more as he jumps to the outside. Let's see if we get another angle at this one. Far chase. Okay, here we go. So the 6th ride of Modesty. You see the 56 just jumps up in front of him right here, but there's contact actually between the 46 of Barry and the 69 ride. As the 69 tries to follow the 56 ride up, that's where the contact's made. Ends up making the 69 come into that left rear quarter panel of Modesty. That's what hooks Modesty around and unfortunately brings out the big wreck out there on the racetrack. But now a quick warm-up session for each and every one of these drivers. A quick opportunity to make sure that their trucks are absolutely perfect, ready to rock and roll, ready to battle here this evening for our A main feature event, which is going to be just here in a few more moments. So we're going to get a quick break in. We're going to get ready to rock and roll. We're going to get ready to see what these guys can do here for this feature event in just a couple more moments as drivers jump in onto the racetrack. We'll get a look out. We'll watch them out there on the racetrack, get a couple practice laps in here before our A main feature event. But make sure, if you guys haven't already, that you guys have hit the like button on the broadcast for us. Every single comment and every single thumbs up here on the stream helps push it out to more and more prospective viewers. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button and drop a couple comments for us here this evening. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Hit the subscribe button, turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go green flag racing here on Peacemaker Gaming as our heat races have come to a close. Quick little warm-up session and drivers meeting, and then that will lead into our 100-lap A main feature event here this evening. 100 laps left to duke it out here in this one, and man, it's going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some great racing here. These guys are going to put on a hell of a show for us here this evening as we do see a few more drivers obviously in the field here as well. Justin Duran, that we did not see throughout those heat races, I believe will start in one of the top 2 spots here this afternoon as our top 2 in qualifying do qualify for the front row here in this A main feature event. I believe Justin Duran, and I'm trying to think of who the other driver maybe Keith Prince on the front row here for this A main feature event. So for Keith Prince and this 30 truck, they may be sitting pretty here at the start of this A main here this afternoon, as qualifying on the front row here this evening will be a good shout for each and every one of them. But we're going to get a quick drink into us. We're going to get ready to rock and roll here this afternoon as these drivers get ready to battle here at Daytona International Speedway for their A main feature event. But don't go anywhere because you do not want to miss out on the crazy racing action here in just a few more moments.
The grips a gamble, tires squeal, hearts race. This leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. the lights. Speed's the shrine, bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show? Well, here you go, as our A-Main feature event is about to get underway here from Daytona International Speedway. And starting on the pole in the number 3 machine, it is the Johnny Johnson Motorsports JMB Lawn Care number 3 ride of Keith Prince to his outside in the beautiful number 30 machine. That is Justin Durand. Durand will start in position number 2, is back there in third. Our first heat race winner of the evening, it is Clinton Woodby, who will start there in third. To his outside in the 56, it's our second heat race winner, Jack Drunker. Is Drunker going to start in position number 4? Then we do see the number 36 of Stephen Luttrell, the 76 of Shane Morris, the number 54 of David Traylor, Bruce Bernard there rounding out our top 8 with the 48 of Brendan McNutt and Joe Yakes rounding out our top 10. Then we do see, I believe it is Brandon Combs there in 11th, Colton Hardy in 12th, the number 63 of Brody Bente there in 13th, Trevor McManus there in position number 14 with the 24 of John Salino, Skylar Barry, Evan Schilling, Eric Hegdal, Rooster Rodden, Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Zach Kelly, Matt Hayden, Jesse Wise, Harrison Crosby, Rusty Modesty, Brian Cunningham, Andrew Hainsley, Haas Beverly, Justin Lee, and Nate Cogdell, who's starting down pit side here. Gonna round out our 30 truck field as here we go, ending all of the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Daytona International Speedway in our main feature event as the winning bid 200 is officially underway here this evening. As Justin Durand getting a great shove there on the outside lane. Jack Drucker pushing him out in front, looking to clear that 3 machine of Keith Prince. Prince though looking and hoping that the inside lane can battle back here as he's got Clinton Woodby right there trying to push him to the point here in lap number 1 of the season here. Our first official lap of the regular season about to come to a close. So far it's been clean and green. It's been too wide and fancy here. We're nice and easy down across the line. The 30 truck of Justin Durand will lead our first lap of season 2 here in the Full Throttle Outlaws. Jack Drucker, though, he's going to quickly battle there to the outside as Justin Durand jumps down to the inside groove here, just in front of Keith Prince, and each and every one of these drivers putting already a great show on for us. Too wide throughout the field. Everyone continued to battle. Unfortunately, we did see one driver have to start down pit side as that 0-0 ride. That's Virgil's QH Designs 0-0 of Nate Cogdell having to start down pit road here. Unfortunately, that's going to put him back deep in the field, kind of in behind some of these drivers. We already see Andrew Hainsley and Justin Lee both already lose kind of that lead draft and that lead pack out there on the speedway as they've already fallen 3 seconds behind these guys. Unfortunately for Nate Cogdell, he's quite a ways back there as well, just down through that tri-oval. Justin Lee and Andrew Hainsley just in front of him as you do see the 29 ride of Andrew Hainsley blanking quite a bit here again, man. Andrew always having those internet connection issues. He's got that McDonald's Wi-Fi, and unfortunately for the 29 ride, running into some of those internet connection issues again here. See him blinking again there on the racetrack as he gets in line in behind the back bumper of the 38 of Jay Lee out there on the speedway as Jack Drucker, though, continues to lead the charge here. Drucker in the 48 ride on Brendan McNutt. Hooked up here is McNutt and Brandon Combs quickly battling their way right here to the front of the field. And I do believe for Combs and Drucker, they are on the same team. I'm not sure if they've also added in maybe that 48 ride of Brennan McNutt. I do believe they have, so it is a 3-car team for the Black Betty Racing team as Brandon Combs, Brennan McNutt, and Jack Drucker all a part of the same team here this season. And right now they're sitting 1, 2, and 3 out there on the Speedway as the Cincinnati number 56, the Ally number 48 machine, and that USBC number 28 of Brandon Combs. All a part of the Black Betty Racing team, sitting 1, 2, and 3 out there on the racetrack. But you do see that beautiful number 76 of Mr. Morris trying to battle his way right up into the battle as he's in the almost competitive racing team. Him and Brody ride the Bente, number 63, on the same team here as well. So for obviously that number 76, he's trying to light the torch here, kind of light the fire there for the almost competitive racing team as he's down on that inside groove. Unfortunately, his teammate a little farther back there in the field, hoping that he can see Brody Bente work his way up to him and battle there with that number 76 towards the front of the field here later in this race. As early on, a lot of drivers, they'll be looking to try to find their teammates, their dancing partners here, and hope that they can just kind of work together throughout this feature event. As Bozeman says, let's go number 7, get her done, he says. As Tyler Courtney says, come on, Brody Bente, says Bente and Lee, let's go number 63 and 38, cheering on my boy, Mr. Jay Lee, here this afternoon, and that 63 ride of Mr. Bente is Brody in the heat wave 63 ride, trying to navigate his way up towards the front of the field here, trying to help out his teammate Shane Morris there up towards the front of the pack. As Morris still leading the charge in that inside groove of the team lined up on the outside lane, just working well together and continue to push each other down the back straightaway, sitting pretty here. 1, 2, and 3 out there on the Speedway. They got Joe Yanks and Colton Hardy right there behind him as Hardy in the QH Designs number 97 truck. Showed a lot of speed there throughout heat race number 2. He's definitely going to keep that outside lane rolling smoothly here this afternoon, and honestly it's playing dividends because they are starting to pull a little farther and farther away from Shane Morris and that inside lane as Morris is actually falling back into about that 5th, 6th position. Now door to door with that 97 of Colton Hardy here for that 5th position. And unfortunately, it just seems like the inside lane kind of fading back here a little bit. Not as organized, not as tight, and I believe they're starting to lose more and more drivers as more cats are starting to maybe lose a little faith here, but they're going to pick up a few more cats as here we go. Colton Hardy says, all right, I'm done playing follow the leader. I want the race lead. The 59 ride of Trevor McManus is going to go with him, and here comes Colton Hardy. He wants an opportunity. He wants a shot at trying to work his way out in front of this field. He wants to lead a lap here early on this afternoon as they complete lap number 7 out there on the racetrack. So 7 laps down here in this feature event. Still a lot of laps left to go here. 93 left to duke it out here this evening, as definitely going to be a long day here, a long broadcast, because this 100 laps, it could go a while if we do run into a slew of yellow flags. It can definitely slow things down. If we can keep it clean and green, they can click them off in a quick hurry, but we're still going to be looking at kind of close to that 2.5 or hour and a half marker just for this A-main feature event. We are a little over an hour throughout that first couple heat races, so things could definitely take a while here this evening. We could see almost a 3-hour broadcast here this afternoon, so make sure you got your popcorn, make sure you got your drinks, and settle in here for what is going to be a very fun night of racing action. Look out! Oh, the 57, now the 3 truck up into the outside fence. I think they're all going to start to pile into it here. I'll see if there's the caution flag, and there it is! Our first yellow flag here of our A-main feature event. I believe it starts with the 87 ride getting up into the outside wall right here. Then I think just a lot of drivers reacting to it and unfortunately making some bold moves and trying to get checked up. And unfortunately, I believe Keith Prince going to get tied up in this one as well. It's Aaron Peacock. What's good, Aaron? Aaron in here as well as, okay, there you go. So I'm not sure. Take a look back at it. This 87 get a little checked up right here. Yeah, they kind of stack up a little bit just in front. Looks like the 48 kind of gets a little bit out of the throttle. 28 gets into his back bumper. Yanks gets into the 28's back bumper. And then all of a sudden, Keith Prince gets in there. And Prince ends up just, unfortunately, giving a big poke here to the back bumper. He's got a good run brewing down into corner number 1 and closing that gap, carrying that speed, and all of a sudden you see them kind of stack up a little bit. Here comes the 3 ride right into the back bumper of the 87. It gets Yanks bent out of shape. Unfortunately, he washes back up the racetrack, pancakes the outside fence, and then I'm not sure. It looks like a lot of these drivers, they're just trying to get out of the way, and they jump down onto the apron. Other drivers start to get checked up, and unfortunately, even though the 87, here to see the 3 truck here of Keith Prince kind of wash back up the racetrack into his lap, kind of drives them both back up into the outside fence. So Prince ends up getting some pretty solid damage there himself. Same with the 87 ride again, but the caution flag actually comes from behind these guys as drivers checking up here back behind them, and all of a sudden as they stack up, they just keep kind of piling into it. I believe you're going to watch this mellow yellow 21 ride of Zach Kelly. He gets checked up. The 11 truck of Eric Hagdahl. Doesn't look like Hagdahl sees it in time. We're going to see that gap between the 11 and the 21 close up in a quick hurry. Drives right on through that back bumper. Unfortunately, jacks up the 21, turns him down, and unfortunately into Bente right there. Bente nowhere to go. Then you're going to see Skylar Berry. He's going to get into it. Looks like Haas Beverly's going to get a piece of it. And a lot of these other drivers, unfortunately, going to get tore up here and tied up and going around here, bouncing around. Matt Hayden, 69 right of Jesse Wise. You see the 33 truck of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. He's turned around. Look at Haas Beverly back up the racetrack right here. Looks like he's going to end up actually getting into the outside fence again there pretty solidly. And I do believe we're also going to see the 3 ride of Keith Prince maybe back up into the outside fence here as well. After they kind of come off the outside fence, maybe not. No, it's not the 3 ride. There was someone else that ended up getting up into the outside fence. I'm not sure who it was, but somebody got tore up again there on the racetrack. But unfortunately, a lot of drivers getting some pretty solid damage, getting tore up here early on this afternoon. And that is going to bring out our first caution flag of our A-Main feature event. And now for all these drivers, then opportunity to, get fuel, get tires, make some adjustments to their race trucks, or just try to play out some of the action that they need here in this feature event, and just hoping that this kind of calms things down a little bit, because you do not want to be parked down pit side. You do not want to be out of this race this early here this evening. And unfortunately, already quite a few drivers down pit road and unfortunately in a bad position. See Eric Hagdahl, John Salino, Skylar Berry's down there, Haas Beverly's down pit side, Brody Bente, Skylar Berry, obviously he's rolling back out there. Joe Yakes, Keith Prince, all down pit side, all trying to get their trucks repaired and back out onto the racing surface. Some of them are exiting pit road, trying to get rolling here, hoping to keep themselves on the lead lap as they just got to beat the pace truck back down across the pit road here. And for right now, they got a couple more seconds trying to make sure they get things fixed up and get these trucks back into perfect conditions here this evening. As Aaron Peacock, unfortunately for Peacock, as soon as he basically jumped into the comment section, cheered on KP3 out there on the Speedway, Keith Prince runs into those issues and gets tore up. Unfortunately, gets avoiding that one, as radio says Harrison avoided another wreck. Great driving, buddy. Great driving right there, as Harrison is in the wreck. Whisperer in the wreck. Whisper is the wreck whisperer. All right, I like it. He's the wreck whisperer. He kind of just knows when they're going to happen. He knows where to go and how to avoid them, and that may be the key to success here this afternoon, just keeping yourself out of the carnage, out of the mayhem, and hoping to put yourself up and into victory lane here this evening as the lights are off the official iRacing pace truck, and we will get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Green flag about to come back out here in a quick hurry as Jack Drucker out in front of the field, ready to set these drivers loose, ready to go back to battle here in this one. Colton Hardy there in third with Trevor McManus, Brandon Combs, Shane Morris, Justin Durand, Clinton Woodby, Evan Schilling, Bruce Bernard, our top 10 out there on the Speedway, all ready to see this green flag come back out. They want to get back to work. They want to get back to the battle here and see if they can, get a little bit more of a green flag run rolling out there on the Speedway. As Tyler Courtney says, Tyler Country in the chat, or Country Tyler, showing the love here. I don't know why I've been reading that as Courtney. I don't know what in the world my eyes been seeing, but it says, attaboy number 38, way to move up. Yep, hey, sometimes it's all you need to do. Just keep yourself out of the carnage, keep yourself out of the mayhem, and for Justin Lee, goes from not being in that draft, but being far enough back that he's able to avoid the carnage and ends up leapfrogging about half the field, and now ready to restart here up inside our top 15 here this evening. As here we go, back to green flag racing, and quickly, you see the 56 rider Jack Drucker. Drucker's going to jump right up to the outside groove. You'll fall right back in line with his teammates, and they'll sit 1, 2, and 3 out here on the Speedway. Once again, trying to keep these guys back there at bay. Here comes the 30 rider Justin Duran, though, our second place starter here this evening. The outside pole sitter trying to battle his way right back to the front of the field. As here comes 76 of Shane Morris. Colton Hardy leading that inside groove, has that 59 rider Trevor McManus right there with him. As you do see Shane Morris jump down to the inside lane here, he says see you later to the outside groove. He wants to get this inside lane rolling and hoping that maybe the 97 truck Colton Hardy can push him to the point, as they're making some big moves here down and through that tri-oval. Luckily enough, everyone's able to keep their trucks pointing the right direction as the top 3 continue to be teammates here. 1, 2, and 3 out there on the racetrack. Drucker continues to lead the charge here after 13 laps of racing action here at Daytona International Speedway. As we do see Rooster Rodden back there in 13th. Justin Lee's right there in 14th. Rusty Modesty back in 15th as he's trying to work himself back up towards the front of the pack here. But for each and every one of these drivers, obviously our top 15 kind of separating themselves now. About a second gap between Modesty and David Traylor. So Traylor, Nate Cogdell, the number 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., all kind of falling back ever so slightly, but still grouped together that they're not going to be too much slower than that lead pack, but far enough back that if there is another calamity that they may be able to avoid and keep themselves out of the carnage out there on the Speedway. So we'll have to wait and see. Sometimes this secondary pack is the greatest idea in the world. Sometimes it works out perfectly for them, and they're able to just race their way up and into a good finish and a good run out there on the Speedway. Other times we've seen that happen where that second group gets tied together and gets turned around out there on the racetrack. As Don says, y'all slow down for number 7. Slow down, guys, slow down. Let the 7 truck catch up now. Let the 7 truck catch up, as I believe for the number 7 machine of Mr. Harrison Crosby. Harrison's still doing a pretty decent job here. He's still hanging right there with him as we do see that second group kind of recollect the draft here with that lead pack, and they'll all get stacked back up together here. And Harrison Crosby right there in the thick of it, right in the middle of it, trying to work that Firehouse Subs number 7 ride right up into the battle here at the front of the pack. Is, man, it has been a pretty good show, man. Pretty wild. And now here we go. Steven Luttrell looking for the top spot. The 76 of Shane Morris trying to push him to the point here, and we may see a new race leader here in a quick hurry. Jack Drunker is going to have his work cut out for him, but having 3 teammates right there to your back bumper, 3 guys that you can trust, that you know are going to give you everything they got and give you the pushes that you may need to try to keep yourself and the team out in front of the pack here and in the premium position throughout this feature event. And again, just down out of corner number 4, back across the line, they're able to get not only the number 56 back out in front, but they're all 3 able to clear that inside groove. So for Stephen Luttrell, that 76 right now, Morris, you see all that inside drivers, man. They're going to have to try to mount another challenge. They're going to have to try to get stacked up together again, hope that they can find a big enough run and try to work each other right back up here into the hunt here at the front, as you do see that second group. A little farther back here now, we saw kind of a few groups built up, but obviously, and we do see Jimmy Fitzrings Jr., Matt Hayden, they're into this battle, so they're kind of round out our top 21 here out there on the racetrack. So our top 21 all in this lead group. You look way farther back here, about 4.5 seconds back, almost 5 seconds, 6 seconds back of our race leader. You do see Joe Yakes, Eric Hegdal, Haas Beverly, Zach Kelly, Andrew Hainsley in the 29, the 32 of Brian Cunningham, all back there deeper in the field. A little farther back, you do see the Heat Wave, number 63 of Brody Bente, the 24 of John Salino's there with them, and unfortunately for Keith Prince, he's without the draft here as well, and for the Johnny Johnson Motorsports, JMB Lawn Care, number 3 machine, Keith Prince all the way back here in that 30th position. Unfortunately, he's about 18 seconds away from the drivers in front of him and about 31 seconds away from our race leaders. But the caution flag will come back out. Yellow flag is out here. Oh, brother. Let's take a look back, see what happens here. It did look like maybe Matt Hayden ran into some issues. Take a look at it. All right, there it is. Okay, so looks like contact. The 59 ride going to get looped around right here. Looks like Skylar Berry poking his nose right into the middle. And unfortunately for Trevor McManus, going to have nowhere to go right here. Kind of just rolling the outside lane, and all of a sudden Berry gets up into it. And unfortunately, Harrison Crosby does get a piece of it there. You do see 59 upside down turtled here, sliding down the front straightaway into pit exit right there. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anyone else is going to get into him. The truck is just going to get turtled there on the racing surface, but Harrison Crosby, unfortunately, could not whisper his way out of this one, as he's going to get tangled into it and tore up into it. As let's take another look at another angle at it, because you're going to see Barry kind of, he's in behind the 59 truck at a corner number 4. And then he's just going to kind of just drive into the middle here. And unfortunately, there's just no room there. And it closes up in a quick hurry. And obviously for Barry, he's hoping to get a good run, hoping to maybe try to gain that extra spot or two and work his way into the back bumper of the 97 truck. Unfortunately, just kind of misjudges how quickly that gap was going to close and how much room he really had there at that point, and they get tangled together and comes up ever so slightly into the 59, puts him up into the outside fence. Crosby gets into the 59 truck, that puts him upside down, and unfortunately not a fun ride right there for that 59 machine. As let's see if we can jump on board here with Trevor McManus, see what McManus sees from the cockpit of this 59 truck, as he's going to exit corner number 4, just in line, in tow here with the QH Designs ride of Colton Hardy. And then all of a sudden, through the tri-oval, there's the contact. There he goes around, up into the outside fence, and then upside down. And this is never a fun sight to see, because you're going to see all these trucks coming right at you at such a rapid pace. And it's still never a fun look or a fun angle. And unfortunately, eating that pavement is never a good time either, and we will see, I believe this is our second caution flag here of this feature event fly on lap number 20. So we will get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to rumble here once again after a quick wave of pit stops. Drivers will get the opportunity to come down pit road, as we do see Matt Hayden come down pit side. Now Hayden believe Matt may have gotten a black flag down pit road here. We'll have to wait and see if the admins clear that or not, but we do see a split decision again. A lot of our front runners, they stay out, but we do see David Traylor come down pit road. We see Joe Yakes, Nate Cogdell, Brody Bente, a bunch of these drivers making their way down pit lane here. Brian Cunningham, Prince is down pit side again. Trevor McManus obviously still down pit road here trying to get that truck repaired. Unfortunately, after towing it down pit side, he has already fallen, I do believe, 2 laps down out there on the speedway. So for the 59 machine, he's going to want to see some more yellow flags, some more cautions here to hopefully try to work his way back on a lead lap here at some point in time this evening. John Salino is going to come back down pit road. If Prince still down there, unfortunately for Prince, I believe he is still a lap down as well for that number 3 machine. So he's trying to get some more repairs done for that Johnny Johnson Motorsports ride, and he'll have to try to battle back here in this one as well as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments after a quick word here from a couple of our amazing sponsors here in the Full Throttle Outlaws. Alrighty, stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one as they will complete lap number 22. As we go back to green flag racing, we will have 78 laps of racing action left to go here in this one. And for each and every one of these drivers, I do believe we were scheduled to have a stage break here. I'm not sure if they're going to call that early or not, or if we will see the caution flag come back out here in a quick hurry. Or maybe we won't see. Well, definitely looks like a stage break on lap 25 here this evening as take a look at the schedule. I mean, even on the schedule, they toned the heat races down by 5 laps and the feature event by 5 laps. That's a bit of a blessing here this evening, and at least someone realized that, hey, that's going to be a lot of laps, a lot of racing here this afternoon. So at least they knocked it down 15 laps here this evening, and honestly, with the NASCAR overtimes here this afternoon, we still kind of ran the same amount, but the night is still young, and we still got a lot of racing left to go here this evening. And for each and every one of these drivers, it'll be interesting to see on whether or not we do get the stage break in, if there is another caution flag about to be displayed here in a couple laps as they complete lap number 22. This could be a 3-lap shootout to see who will end up picking up the dub here in our first stage break of the day as DD Viper, DD coming in, hitting that subscribe button, becoming a brand new member of the Peacemaker family here this evening. Welcome in, DD Viper, as here we go back to green flag racing. Is that outside groove in that 3-car tandem here? The teammates working the outside lane, still working together here this evening, and for obviously the Black Betty Racing team, man, they're hooked up. They are absolutely on fire here. this afternoon and looking for a hell of a run, a hell of a drive here as they sit 1, 2, and 3 here once again on their restart. But here we go, Evan Schilling this time. Schilling's going to jump down to the inside, so he's going to be the first challenger looking and hoping to try to steal this top spot away from him as he's got that Dodge Ram Mobile 1 number 77 ride hooked up down low. He'll get picked up here as we do see the 36 of Stephen Luttrell going to join him here as you do see the 92 of Clinton Woodby. Woodby goes to the third groove here. He says, you know what, I'm done going 2 wide. I want to see some 3 wide, and he's looking to just race his way right up and around these guys with no help at all, except for a little bit of side draft here. Unfortunately, that big run, that momentum, it may work out for a little bit, but he's going to need some help, and it looks like he may get it as the 97 truck of Colton Hardy. Hardy jumps up to the outside groove, but a bit of a block there down into corner number 3 as the 56 rider Jack Drucker jumps up in front of him, kind of kills that momentum and the speed for the 97 ride, and unfortunately they'll have to get back in line, try to figure something else out again here as they do pick up the 46 machine of Mr. Skylar Barry. What does Barry do? Looks like Barry's just going to fall right back in line onto the back bumper of that 30 truck as they battle back down into corner number 1 as 24 laps completed. This could be our final lap of the first stage of the season, and for each and every one of these drivers trying to earn those stage points, trying to put themselves into a great position, trying to get a little bit of an early advantage when it comes to our points here on the season. As Drucker, though, out in front continues to lead the way as the 30 ride of Justin Durand all over his back bumper. Durand continue to push him out in front, and for Jack Drucker, he's got teammates down to his inside here in that 48 and 28, so they'll battle it out down the front straightaway back into the tri-oval. Who will get the first stage win? It is Drucker who gets the first stage W of the season. So Jack Drucker, man, already with a heat race win and a stage win here as the caution flag will come back out for the stage break. And now for each and every one of these drivers, now it's all about fuel. It's about game plan. What is the call here? What is the strategy here during the stage break as we completed, 25% of this feature event now? We got 75% left to go, but no more stage breaks on the horizon. No more, mandatory caution flags out there on the racetrack. Now it's all down to, when there is an issue out there on the speedway that arises a yellow flag here this afternoon. So, it could be a long green flag run. Could see more yellow flags here fly. How do you play it out? How do you strategize for it? It'll be interesting to see how everyone's able to get it done here in this one. But for Jack Drucker, Drucker has the top spot. He is our race leader. He's our first stage winner here on the season. As Justin Durand going to come home in second. I believe Brendan McNutt will come home in third. Colton Hardy in fourth. Brandon Combs back in fifth. And then we do see Clinton Woodby, Evan Schilling, Eric Hegdal, Stephen Luttrell, and Rusty Modesty, our top 10, all earning some stage points here this evening in our first stage of the day. Unfortunately for Shane Morris, Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Barry, Harrison Crosby back in 14th, Bruce Bernard, and the rest of the field, they all missed out on some stage points here in this one. But now we see everybody headed on down pit side, except for it looks like one driver's going to stay out, pitted back on lap number 20. It's Brody Bente. Bente's going to stay out, and I believe David Traylor as well. Also going to stay out, going to take that track position over that extra little bit of fuel here this evening. Nate Cogdell also stays out. I believe Cogdell was a lap down, so he's looking for a lucky dog to get back on the lead lap, back into the battle here this evening as the 0-0 still with some pretty solid right front damage. Unfortunately, did go a lap down, but now back on the lead lap. We'll see if Cogdell can rebound here this evening as everyone going to be chasing Brody Bente and David Traylor here on this restart. But down out of pit lane, it's Justin Durand who will come out as the first truck here out of pit road. In Modesty, Clinton Woodby, Matt Hayden. Right there's Evan Schilling. Brennan McNutt's going to come out in 8th now. Jack Drucker is going to be back in 9th for this restart. Skylar Berry, Colton Hardy, Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Brandon Combs. He's going to be restarting back in that 13th position. So things are getting very, very spread out here this evening. Is Fletcher. What's good, Fletcher? Fletcher coming in, showing the love here in this one. How are you, Fletch? Laura Stacy also in the chat earlier. A couple of our members coming in, showing the love. How are you, Laura Stacy coming in, showing the love as well. I don't know if I showed that out earlier or not, but Miss Laura Stacy coming in, showing the love. Says, let's go, number 5. Cheering on that 5 right of Mr. Matt Hayden, and we'll see if Hayden can race his way back in front. We saw him lead some laps there throughout his heat race. We'll see if he can lead some laps throughout this feature event, but it's going to be a dogfight again here at the front of the field as we do see some new drivers now at the front, going to be battling here with them and looking to try to keep themselves, up here at the point, trying to lead a lot of laps, trying to keep a lot of these drivers back there at bay and lead some good solid laps here this evening and put themselves maybe into the winning strategy or winning position throughout this feature event. As down across the line, we should see the lights turn off the official iRacing pace truck, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here this evening as boy Fletcher showing the love here in this one. Everyone coming in showing the love, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you. If you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up button here on the broadcast. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well. Become part of the Peacemaker family here this evening by hitting the subscribe button. And if you guys want to help us out even more, join the exclusive group here and hit that join button. Become part of the Peacemaker Members Club here this afternoon. The exclusive group, you get exclusive emotes, Discord, and exclusive content as well that's going to be coming here in the very near future, and it's going to be a lot of fun time there, and obviously helps us out here in the broadcast booth a ton with our Monster Energy budget here for our week-to-week activities. As Brody Bente, David Trailer, ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here in this one as our front row for this 4th start of the afternoon, our 3rd restart here this evening, but our 4th official start here on the day. So things are going to get ready to rock and roll. Things are going to get real fun in a quick hurry as Justin Durand, Rusty Modesty right there in 3rd and 4th. Woodby's back in 5th with Matt Hayden now in 6th. Evan Schilling there in 7th. Brennan McNutt, Jack Drucker, our Stage 1 winner, back in 9th. And Skylar Berry rounding out the top 10 is each and every one of them going to be looking and hoping to try to race their way out in front of the field here and hoping that they can battle for the top spot here or put themselves into a position that, things could get a little bit wild here, especially if we see a good green flag run here. If we can see, 20, 30 laps kind of being laid down by these drivers throughout a green flag run, we would see the prospects of green flag pit stops here for these drivers, and that could really open things up here this evening. Could definitely make things very, very interesting in a quick hurry late in this feature event. Is here we go, green flag back out into the air, completing lap number 28. So we get 72 laps left to go here this evening, and it's Brody Bente out in front. Ride the Bente as he's trying to ride this race lead, but quickly like a bottle of lightning, Justin Durand to the outside groove, and now contact between him and the 54, now with the 63, and now he's blinking, he's in the middle. Where did he go? Where is he on the racetrack? Where will he appear? Oh baby, that's gonna make things very, very tough for these drivers, as I don't know what in the world happened to Justin Durand, but he has disappeared from the server. I believe he may have, I don't know if he lost connection or not here. I don't see it, but he clearly was blinking out, and he still has not reappeared on the racing surface. And all of a sudden, Justin Durand goes from battling for the race lead, kind of in the middle, 3 wide there for the top spot, and all of a sudden just started to blink and now got off the racetrack. And as the race leaders head down and into core number 3 here once again, you see the 54 ride of David Trailer kind of just washes up the racetrack right there. Didn't really get too big of a shot from that 6 rider Rusty Modesty, but nonetheless it's just going to move him up the racetrack and now put on the outside of 3 wide and kind of just sit and duck up there until you do see the 97 Colton Hardy pick him up here. Hardy's going to get to his back bumper. Hardy and Trailer going to hope to try to get this third line brew and hoping to see a little bit of three-wide racing action here up towards the front of the field and see how that kind of works out for them, as a lot of times it's fun to watch, but a lot of times it just does not work out too well for a lot of these drivers. But we'll see if that can be a good call here for the 97 truck or the 54. I think even for the 97 of Colton Hardy, he kind of bailed out of it. I think for the 54 ride of David Trailer, even though he did not pit, I think he knows he's going to be a little bit shorter on field than a lot of these other drivers. I think now is the game plan to kind of balance out the fuel. And I think for David Trailer, he's just kind of going to get mired back here mid-pack. Going to hope to try to save some gas, try to make things balanced out here throughout this run, and then just hope that maybe trying to battle his way back up there towards the end of the run as everyone's starting to head down pit side for their green flag pit stops. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Is out in front, working his way back to the point. It's the Ally number 48 ride, as it is Brennan McNutt. McNutt jumps out in front. Matt Hayden working down to his inside now as Hayden looking to work his way out in front. But, man, Brennan McNutt restarted back, I believe, in about that 8th position and worked his way through that traffic rather nicely. Now up into the top position, looking really, really strong here in this feature event so far for Brennan McNutt, and hoping to see if he can park himself and his teammates up and into victory lane as they're trying to get hooked up again here in that outside groove. Unfortunately, they kind of got Rusty Modesty in the middle of them here. Modesty is splitting up that Black Betty Racing team here as they sit right now first, third, and fourth in that outside lane. Modesty, the 6th ride, kind of splitting them up there, and unfortunately, I'm sure they would love to try to chew him up and spit him out. As you can see, the couple packs stacked together again out there on the Speedway. Pack number 1 kind of right there, door to door, battling hard out on the Speedway, and then it kind of gets a little more single file. Drivers being a little bit more cautious, a little bit more, at ease here, a little deeper in this pack, and maybe trying to save a little extra fuel out there as well. As you do see Justin Lee, Brody Bente, Harrison Crosby, all kind of back there, just kind of minding their P's and Q's, close enough to the pack that they can join the battle at any moment in time, but also far enough back that if there is another big wreck that they may be able to get checked up and avoid it and not get piled into it here this evening. And then a huge gap back from Crosby all the way back to John Salino is about 3.6 seconds here. Salino, Cogdell, Andrew Hainsley, Joe Yates, Jesse Wise, Keith Prince back there, as well as Trevor McManus there as well. And unfortunately for Justin Duran, you do see Duran back out there onto the Speedway. I do believe that as he lost connection, and I believe, yeah, there you go, you do see it now. Justin Duran dropped connection due to upload packet loss, and then he obviously got out reconnected. So he's back in here, he's back battling, but that issue, unfortunately, does find him, I believe, 3 laps down out on the Speedway. So bit of a heartbreaker there for him, and if we stay clean and green for an extended period of time, he'll quickly fall 4 laps down out there on the Speedway here, as he's kind of a lone duck out there. No drafting help, no dancing partners there with the 30 truck, and he's definitely going to be at risk of going 4 laps down, and that's going to put him into a huge hole here in this feature event, and a hole that I'm not sure if he's going to be able to battle his way back out of here this evening. As out in front, Brennan McNutt continues to lead the way. McNutt out in front with Modesty, Drucker, Brandon Combs, our top 4. Matt Hayden's there in 5th, trying to keep that inside lane alive, as he's got Clinton Woodby, the 77 ride of Evan Schilling, 76 ride right there, as well as Shane Morris. They're all trying to keep that inside groove rolling here to the front. They do see the 33 truck jump down in front of them here. That's Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., who jumped up into that 5th position. He'll drop down in front of Matt Hayden, trying to give a little helping hand here to that inside lane, try to help them battle back. But right now, the outside groove just seems to be a little bit more organized, a little bit more together, and it's just paying dividends. I don't know if it's just a little bit more grip up there, a little bit more speed, rolling that outside lane, but nonetheless, it is just working out well for the outside lane here throughout this feature event. Is down across the line. They'll complete lap number 36 here this evening. So 36 laps down here in this one, and we inch closer and closer to our checkered flag as we'll take a quick break here, a quick Peacemaker game, and crank it up here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what we want you to do right now is crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers in the comments section. Cheer them on as we crank it up and bring you the sights and sounds here at Daytona International Speedway. Look out, the big one back behind the 48 rider, Brennan McNutt. Caution flag is back out on the speedway. Caution flag out there on the racetrack as the Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. Caution flag curse will continue here this evening as things stack up here at the front of the field. Take a look at it as looks like maybe Drucker maybe getting a bit of a push here, a little bit of an extra shove from his teammate in that 48 ride. See if we can find Drucker. Where is he out there on the racetrack? There he is. Okay, so take a look here. Drucker, he's battling. He's leading the outside groove, and it looks like, oh, maybe Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. actually just kind of comes up here. I don't know if he just needed some quick air onto the nose of this 33 ride, but entering corner number 3, everyone else is starting to turn. 33 truck kind of just goes straight here into the corner, and this gets right up into that left rear quarter panel of Jack Drucker right there. And from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong because the 56 turned around, comes down, collects the 6 ride. Modesty's just trying to hang on to it. Everyone else starts to check up. And you do see Brandon Combs go around, and then everyone else is going to keep on piling in here. Steven Luttrell, hard contact. He bounces up hard into the outside fence. You see Matt Hayden goes around. 76, 77's in there. The 92 of Clinton Woodby, he's turned around. He's up into the outside fence. The 28 Ryan goes back around into the infield here as everyone kind of just getting a good piece of this one. You do see Crosby does get hooked right there at the end as I believe Coleman's going to get a little piece of him. But, man, this is a bit of a wild one here at the front of the field. This is a spot where you tend to be, you know, sometimes the safest, but a lot of times ends up being the worst place to be out there on the speedway. And for a couple of these drivers, unfortunately, not where they wanted to be, and obviously tore up out there on the speedway as for Crosby, we're looking for Combs. That's who we were trying to jump on board with here. You know, look at it. There's Brandon Combs. All right, so Combs pushing his teammates here as they're lined up 1, 2, and 3 on the outside. They see the contact. He gets checked up. Ran over from the 76, and they all just keep piling in there. Eventually, he does go around and right about here washes back down the racetrack and just collects that 7 ride. Really minimal contact there for Crosby, but does get turned around. But a lot of tore up sheet metal, a lot of tore up race trucks there down through corner number 3 and 4. And obviously another caution flag, another, you know, couple moments here around under the yellow for drivers to, you know, kind of collect their thoughts, their feelings, try to figure out what they need to do, where they need to be, and how they need to try to navigate their way up and into victory lane here this evening. As out front, not coming down pit road during this caution flag, is that 97 truck of Colton Hardy. Looks like Hardy's going to stay out, and so isn't Justin Lee. They did not come down pit side, so they will restart here on the front row unless they come down pit road this next time by. But for right now, it seems like they're going to be restarting 1 and 2 out there on the speedway. Modesty scored back in 3rd. Brennan McNutt is there in position number 4. Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. is back in 5th with Jack Drucker there in 6th. Steven Luttrell, Skylar Berry, Shane Morris, Jesse Wise, Brody Bente, Bruce Bernard are top 12 here on the restart. And then you do see Clinton Woodby, Andrew Hainsley, Brian Cunningham, the number 22 Haas Beverly, Harrison Crosby, Eric Hagdol, Rooster Rodden, David Trailer, our top 20 out there on the speedway. Evan Schilling, Nate Cogdell, Joey Yates, the 28 of Brandon Combs, all trying to keep themselves on lead lap here. Same with John Salino, Matt Hayden, Zach Kelly, Keith Prince, all able to get out just before the official iRacing pace truck comes by. Unfortunately for the 59 truck of Trevor McManus. McManus does not get out in front of our race leaders here. He's going to end up going another lap down here during this yellow flag. I believe he has still scored 2 laps down out there on the speedway now. So heartbreaker there for Trevor McManus. But we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. And it unfortunately looks like Justin Durand Lost connection again, but this time did not lose connection of someone else's fault or the internet's fault. Looks like he manually disconnected this time, so a tough break there for Justin Duran, as it looks like he's going to call it a day here at the Speedway. Obviously already, multiple laps down, stuck back there deeper in the field. May have been kind of in a tough spot, a rough spot here throughout the rest of this feature event, and unfortunately calls it a night. And unfortunately, not going to continue on here this evening. So we start with 30 trucks. We've already lost one of our front row drivers here this evening. It's Justin Duran done for the day. Zach Kelly back down pit side here in that mellow yellow number 21 machine, as we get them all ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here as a new front row here for this restart. Colton Hardy, Justin Lee, 1 and 2, getting ready to see this green flag fly once again this afternoon. Green flag about to come back out, and for each and every one of these competitors, man, these restarts have been pretty wild. They've been pretty crazy, but I mean, there's still a lot of laps left to go here. There is still over half this feature event. You may want to just, kind of take it a little bit easy. Maybe just kind of get a little bit more settled in. Maybe not push the subject too much, but it does look like we are going to get an extended caution flag here as the lights are going to turn off the official iRacing pace truck again. It'll be an additional lap added here this afternoon. So looks like another wave of pit stops for all these drivers, and unfortunately, well, maybe not another wave of pit stops, but for some of them, getting that extra pit stop in here, as we did see a few takers. Keith Prince back down pit road. Brandon Combs also back down pit side here. So Prince and Combs, they make the best of it. We did see Zach Kelly. He would have went a lap down if we would have went back to green flag racing. He just came out in front of our race leader, so luckily enough, maybe had that knowledge of an extra caution lap there and able to get a little bit more service done to that mellow yellow ride. As we would have went green flag racing, he would have went easily he would have went a lap down there in a quick hurry. But luckily enough, stays on the lead lap, stays in the battle, and we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. As the QH Designs full throttle paint, Toyota of Colton Hardy out in front, ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here in this one, as we're going to see the green flag fly completing lap number 46. So it will be 54 laps of racing action left to go here this evening as we see the green flag get displayed here again today. So for a couple of these guys, when you look at Hardy and Lee, they were last down pit side on lap number 26. Everyone else down pit side there on lap number 43. So for Colton Hardy and Justin Lee, having 50 laps or so less fuel in their race trucks compared to those other drivers, that's a huge gap. That's a lot of fuel. That's a lot of time out there on the racetrack. And if you've got to make an emergency green flag pit stop, if that fuel level's getting too low and all of a sudden you fall back deeper in the field, that's going to put you into a very, very tough spot in a quick hurry out there on the speedway. As looks like pace truck will make the hard left-hand turn this time by the start-finish line, and here we go. Back to green flag racing. Green flag back out into the air for Colton Hardy. Hardy gets the jump that he was looking for, and again, you saw the 21 back down pit side. This is what we saw during the last restart, and unfortunately for Zach Kelly, he's just going to go a lap down here. I mean, I don't know what the strategy call was there for the 21. Kind of got away with it the first time. Second time, unfortunately, does not get away with it. He'll go a lap down, and unfortunately, that's going to put him into a tough spot. But he is in the lucky dog position. He is currently the first and only driver 1 lap down. Trevor McManus is 2 laps down there. He was in the lucky dog spot until that 21 lost the lap there. So that's not only going to hurt the 21, but also hurt that 59 ride. But out in front, it's Brennan McNutt, who's got the race lead. McNutt is out in front. He's got that top spot, and he's hoping to try to keep everyone else back there at bay throughout the rest of this feature event, man. Hoping to keep him back there, and hoping to keep his teammates right here with them at the front of the field. Obviously, they've lost that 28 ride of Brandon Combs. Combs deeper in the field, but Brennan McNutt and Jack Drucker continue to lead the charge here. 1 and 2 out there on the Speedway. Obviously, they'll have to wait and see if their teammate, Brandon Combs, can navigate his way back up through the field and back up to their rear bumper. Right now, he scored back in that 22nd position. He's going to have his work cut out for him here in that USBC number 28 ride as he'll pull up to the back bumper of the Johnny Johnson Motorsports number 24 ride of John Salino. Looks like John is going to pull down to the infield, and he will, the 28 ride, kind of jump to his outside as there's contact. Look out, Combs is around. The 3 rides around. Heavy hit there for him. No caution flag. Oh, heartbreaker here. Brandon Combs, I do believe Harrison Crosby tied up in that as well. No caution flag. It stays clean and green, but there's the yellow. That's the caution that they needed. They needed that caution right there. Let's take a look at it as, let's see the 3 ride. Actually, oh, here, let's take a look at Crosby. He gets a run, gets a little bit of the apron right there, kind of gets checked up, and you're going to see the 3 at the same time. Gets a good run, shoots to the middle here of Combs and the 24 ride of John Salino, and it looks like Salino just kind of gets in the back bumper of the 7, puts the 7 up into the 3 ride, which puts the 3 into the 28, and unfortunately for both drivers, going down into the infield, 28 ride goes for a couple loop-de-loops here. I believe the only driver to really make really solid contact there and really get a lot of damage. Obviously, Prince got some damage. They all got a little bit of damage there, but I believe it's going to be the 7 ride of Harrison Crosby, who ends up getting some pretty solid contact right here. Not only into his back bumper, but into the 3 ride, and the way he washes down the racetrack, he ends up taking out that infield fence just past the pit road entry or exit, and unfortunately pancakes that safer barrier. Pretty solid lick right there for Crosby, and that is going to put him down pit side, getting some extended work done. And then the caution flag does fly here. I believe it is still for these drivers. I don't know if anyone else ended up going around. I don't think they did. I think the officials kind of saw what happened there. Cogdell was right there with it. He throws that caution flag. As there you go, you see everyone else. They see the yellow flag come out. Everyone will get checked up, and we'll keep it under the yellow flag here. So another restart on the horizon, another caution flag on the day, and we'll get these drivers all ready to rock and roll here. And now, decision. What do you do here if you're Colton Hardy, if you're Justin Lee? You've already fallen back a couple spots. You're no longer out in front. I'm sure you're not going to see the drivers that were down pit side there on lap 43 back down pit road here. At least most of them aren't going to come back down pit side. But for yourself, you would come down to get fuel. I mean, you're going to need it. I mean, I don't understand why they wouldn't come down pit side here. I mean, they're going to lose some track position, but at least here under the yellow flag, they're not going to lose that much track position here. I mean, look at all the trucks that they would have still been in front of coming down pit road. They may have been able to make pit stops, still been up inside the top 15 here for the next restart, but at least they would have maybe a little extra advantage on fuel and not have to worry about fuel if we get a longer green flag run here, as we do see Woodby, Keith Prince, Shane Morris, David Traylor, Joe Yakes. So many of these drivers back down pit road here, getting service, getting fuel, getting their trucks rolling back out on the racetrack. Matt Hayden, you see Crosby's down there trying to get that 7 truck fixed up back into one piece. Matt Hayden, Nate Cogdell's down there. You do see the 28 Ryder Combs, Yakes, all these guys down pit side, getting some service, getting their trucks fixed up, and trying to get themselves back into the battle here this evening as Brennan McNutt, though, out in front, has this race lead. Jack Drucker in position number 2 as they just completed lap number 50. So 50 laps down, 50 laps left to go here in this main feature event. 50 more laps left to duke it out here as you're going to watch the 6 ride of Rusty Modesty. He'll take that back straightaway chicane right there, having a little bit of fun running the Daytona road course track there down the back stretch, and just trying to enjoy some time here under the yellow flag conditions as our, I believe this is our, 5th caution flag here throughout this main feature event. 50 laps, 5 cautions, and hopefully that trend does not continue and we don't see double digits here this afternoon at Daytona. I never like to see double digits at a super speedway, but we've seen stranger things happen, but here we go. We'll see. I believe this time by the start finish line, lights will turn off the official iRacing pace truck when we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as we'll get a quick word in here from a couple of our amazing sponsors here at the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, just past our halfway marker here. The intensity is going to pick up. The craziness will continue to arise out there on the racetrack as drivers are starting to find out and starting to realize that they're running out of time to try to navigate their way to the front of the field, that they're running out of time to try to make some moves to put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening. Is out in front the 48 ride of Mr. McNutt. Gonna get ready to try to keep him back there at bay. He'll be looking for a big restart here, hoping to quickly slide up in front of his teammate of Jack Drucker there. See if they can keep that two-car tandem rolling until they maybe see their teammate work his way back up to him here. Unfortunately for Combs, did get tied up in another issue back there deeper in the field, and it'll be a little bit while longer until these two see their teammate catch back up to him here this afternoon, or they may not even see him get back up here to the top three here this evening. So you see Skylar Berry, he's right there ready to make some moves. He's got his QH Designs right hooked up as the restart there fairly broken up, but we'll see when all these other drivers start to reel them back in who's gonna get the run, who's gonna come in, who's gonna make some moves here. As you're gonna see Haas Beverly, the 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., they're a little farther back here, but they're gonna come with a big head of steam in a quick hurry as they kind of build up all that speed, momentum, and everything else back behind our race leaders. We'll see if anyone makes a big move, a bold move, try to make it 3 wide, or try to make a move to slice and dice their way up to the front of the field. As you see Evan Schilling, he'll slide up in front of that 38 right at Justin Lee. Lee will slide back here a little farther as he's now scored back in that 10th position. As Jesse Wise down to his inside, Wise in that shitty coolers. Number 69 right trying to race his way out in front, but some great battle in here again down the back straightaway, some door-to-door action, and these drivers, man, a lot of these guys trying to navigate their way back up to the front here. They've gotten tied up in a few issues. They've gotten turned around a couple times. When you look back here at guys like Shane Morris, David Trailer, Brody Bente, Matt Hayden, Clinton Woodby, guys that were up towards the front here trying to navigate their way back up there. You look at Brandon Combs, scored back in 23rd. A lot of these cats, man, just unfortunately trying to rebound here this afternoon, and they may be in for a long night. It seems like it's easy. It is usually, not too bad to navigate your way through traffic, but when you're door to door, things are tight. There's not a lot of gaps. There's not a lot of areas for you to make moves and try to put yourself into a position, to steal a spot or two throughout these corners or down the back straightaway or anywhere else on the speedway. I mean, you just kind of get logjam back there. You end up just kind of finding yourself boxed in, nowhere to go, and unfortunately, that could unfortunately cost you a lot of time and a lot of opportunities and a lot of action where you can move yourself back up through the field, and you kind of just get locked in there and nowhere to go back there deeper in the pack. So having that track position does play a key role, especially late in this race, if you want to be able to get a shot, an opportunity at trying to win this race, or try to at least steal maybe the race lead away for a lap or two away from Brennan McNutt, as McNutt continues to lead the way in that Ally 48 machine. The Chevrolet sitting out in front, looking pretty, doing a great job here this evening, as his teammate in the Black Betty Racing team right on his back bumper, man. That Cincinnati ride, the 56 of Jack Drucker, sticking right there with him. As Madison Purcell says, hashtag number 48. Cheering on Brennan McNutt here this evening, putting the heart in the chat as well, showing the love here for Mr. McNutt out there on the racetrack. As 46 is Skylar Berry trying to get that inside lane right back up there, right back into the mix. Unfortunately, this is the same thing we've seen here in the past, man. That outside groove just seems to be ever so slightly better, just that little bit more onto the good side, and unfortunately just the inside groove just, you know, kind of just hanging on here. Not really gaining anything, not really giving too much up, but never really kind of sticking with them until they kind of get that extra car or two to leave the outside groove to, you know, bring them a little closer into the battle. They're kind of just, you know, locked in right there, and every time you kind of gain a driver, another driver jumps up to the outside lane and leaves you high and dry, and you're kind of right back to base zero. As you did see the 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. He jumped down to the inside, and you saw Skylar Berry jump right up into the outside groove, and Berry on the back bumper here, Rusty Modesty, he's looking to jump up into position number 4 as he'll battle right around Evan Schilling, right to the outside of that 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. And all of a sudden, for Jimmy, he's already fallen back here a couple spots since making that move from the outside groove down to the inside, and unfortunately, he may be kind of regretting it, as you do see our race leaders kind of snake their way down the back straightaway there a little bit, trying to jump a lot of clean air onto the nose of that 56 truck, as he may be getting a little bit warm out there, a little bit hot. That's something that they're going to have to really keep an eye on here, is the air temperature there on Jack Drucker, and that's why you kind of see him not quite pushing right on the back bumper. He's been hanging back just a little bit, poking half a car length to the outside or inside of the 48 machine, not only just to make them a little bit wider there, but also just trying to get some clean air, some fresh air into the nose of that 56 machine, and trying to cool down that race truck ever so slightly. So everyone's kind of just trying to make sure that they can survive here till the end of this race. Unfortunately, for a couple drivers, not so lucky here this evening, is Justin Duran already done for the day. He's parked down pit side and out of this race, and Trevor McManus, who we saw go upside down earlier on here this evening, he's scored back in 29th, and unfortunately still about 2 laps down here on the Speedway. Needs a few more caution flags to try to get himself back into the battle out there on the racetrack, as he needs a couple yellows to get back on lead lap, a couple of them lucky dogs to get back into the action. But out in front, leading lap 59, it was Brennan McNutt. McNutt leads another lap here, and man, these guys have just been super good here this afternoon. McNutt, Drucker, obviously we saw Brandon Combs up there with them, sitting 1, 2, and 3 for their race team here for quite a while this afternoon. Now they lost Brandon Combs, getting tied up in a couple of those the last couple caution flags, but he's been able to rebound here. He was deep in the field back in, 23rd, 24th, and all of a sudden here he comes marching his way back up through the field and trying to make some of those moves, trying to navigate his way around the traffic as they split the 6th ride of Rusty Modesty. Modesty kind of gets shuffled into the middle here, and unfortunately no helping hand here. He's just going to keep on falling back, and unfortunately going to lose a lot of positions out there on the racetrack, because now you do see Matt Hayden. He'll drive down to the inside. He's hoping to get this inside lane rolling nicely here, as the 21 truck unfortunately will fall a lap down again out there on the Speedway. So for Zach Kelly, losing a lap here again in that mellow yellow number 21 machine will move him into lucky dog position again. Unfortunately for Trevor McManus, that will keep him out of the lucky dog position and keep him trapped 2 laps laps down back there in that 29th spot on the Speedway. So unfortunately, he can't get any of these quick caution flags. He's seen that 21 right as Zach Kelly, get a lucky dunk or two here, get back on the lead lap, back into the action. McManus just has not been able to get one, as every time they kind of see another yellow flag fly, the 21 right is falling another lap down out there on the racetrack. So unfortunately there for McManus, is going to make it very, very tough for him to try to get back into the action here this evening. But as they completed lap number 61, and we only got 39 laps of racing action left to go here this evening, I mean, the laps are clicking down, pretty nicely. But here we go. There goes Combs again. Caution flag is back out. All right, we're going to keep up with the average here. 61 laps, our 6th caution flag of the day. As unfortunately, Brandon Combs goes around here. Look like Evan Schilling collected. And a few other cats going to get tore up here in this one as well. And I mean, for Combs, man, he's just been having some tough luck here the last 3 caution flags. He has been tore up out there on the racetrack. But, man, tries to make some big moves here, trying to race his way back up to his teammates. And slowly but surely works his way back into the top 10, and then out back straightaway here, kind of in the middle of 3 wide. We'll see kind of how this plays out, as I believe that's the 32 machine there to his outside, but they get a good run in. Oh, I don't know what happened there with the 32 truck. Let's play this one back. So Brian Cunningham in the 32 in that outside groove here. He just kind of comes down the racetrack, and as he does, and there's no hole there. He's not clear of the 28 or the 6 ride of Modesty, and he just keeps coming down the racetrack like he's trying to fall in line behind this 54 at David Trailer. But he moves down the Speedway across the nose of the 6 of Modesty, ends up into that right rear of Brandon Combs, and unfortunately see it just hook Combs here, turns that 28 truck around. He slides hard contact up into the outside fence here. Haas Beverly's going to get a piece of him. You see Modesty and the 32 get tied together. Keith Prince is on the binders trying to stay out of it, but 32 bounces back up into the 22, back down into the 3 ride. So Prince and I do believe Haas Beverly both end up with some pretty solid contact on their race trucks, and unfortunately another caution flag out there on the Speedway, and they're going to get tied together again in Modesty, and Combs get more contact, more damage there down into the infield grass in 3 and 4 as a 6th caution flag of the day will fly, and another opportunity for drivers to head down pit road here, get fuel, get tires, get everything that they desire, as they'll be looking to hopefully try to put themselves right back into the action here this evening. And some great racing, some great action here today. Everyone down pit side, though, quickly leaving pit road, as we did see one driver elect to stay out. The 54 at David Trailer. Trailer does not come down pit side here. He stays out, so he'll be 13 laps less fuel than the rest of the guys back behind him. But Skylar Berry wins the race out of pit road. Jack Drucker, Matt Hayden, Eric Hegdel now in 5th. Brennan McNutt back in 6th. Stephen Littrell, Brody Bente, Colton Hardy, Rusty Modesty, Clinton Woodby, John Salino, Bruce Bernard, Justin Lee, and Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. are going to round out our top 15 here this evening. Joe Yates back in 16th with Brian Cunningham, Jesse Wise, Rooster Rodden, Keith Prince, Harrison Crosby, Nate Cogdell, Andrew Hainsley, Evan Schilling, Shane Morris, Brandon Combs, Zach Kelly, Haas Beverly, Trevor McManus, and Justin Duran rounding out our 30-car field here this evening, as Zach Kelly once again back down pit road trying to get this 21 ride fixed up. Brandon Combs, he's going to leave pit side. He's going to get ready to rock and roll once again and hope to, again, try to race his way back up towards his teammates here at the front of the field. Unfortunately, every time he's got to race his way back up towards that top 10 or into the top 10 again here midway through this race. He's gotten tied up in 3 straight yellow flags now, and unfortunately he's seen that beautiful 28 truck tore up too many times here, I think, than he wanted to this afternoon, as we do see a few more drivers making their way back down pit road here, as I think guys maybe kind of on that pit window here where maybe they can make it on fuel, maybe they'll be a little bit tight here coming down to the wire, but obviously trying to get that extra little edge, that extra little advantage, that extra, half a gallon or tenth of a gallon that may make a difference here between, making it here to the end of this race without having to make another additional pit stop here this evening, as David Trailer consumes the race lead. So Trailer, Barry, a pair of QH Designs rides will lead us back to the green flag as the lights are again turned off the official iRacing pace truck, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here. Still complete lap number 65. We'll get 35 laps left to go here in this feature event. So 35 more laps. We'll have to duke it out here. It would be great to see the last 35 go clean and green. That would be really incredible. It would be really fun to see these guys be able to duke it out there for at least, a good 30-lap run here to finish off this feature event, or maybe just a couple late race caution flags there, but at least getting a good 30-lap run in here, I think would be really, really cool to see. But obviously, quite a few caution flags here, our 6 yellow flag here, and 60 laps of racing action. And obviously now for each and every one of these drivers, I mean, now it's all about that decision on when do you make the final stop here? When do you make that final pit stop? I feel like a lot of these drivers are probably thinking this last stop was it. They may be really good on fuel, and even if there is another caution flag or two, that may make them hit their number a little bit better, a little bit easier out there on the racetrack, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to green flag racing here at Daytona International Speedway, as David Trailer, Skylar Berry will see the official iRacing pace truck make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side. And here we go through the Overton's restart zone back to green flag racing. David Trailer, great restart, great launch right there. Looks like he's going to stick with the inside groove here. I thought maybe he jumped to the outside in front of that 46 of Skylar Berry, but it looks like Berry's going to be able to stay door to door here with the 66 of Jack Drucker. Drucker going to fall back into the wheelhouse here of that 36 of Steven Luttrell. Luttrell going to battle and push him right here down the back straightaway, and they're going to just get to the back bumper of that 54 ride of David Trailer, and they're going to pick right up where they left off, door to door here at the front of the field. But it's now David Trailer, Skylar Berry, 1 and 2 out there on the racetrack. You throw Drucker, Steven Luttrell, the 11 ride of Hegdal right into the battle here. Hegdal, this is the first time we've really seen him, making some moves here at the front of the field, making some big splashes here up inside our top 5. He was able to race his way into the top 10 there in the first stage of the day, but for the Red Bull number 11 machine, looking good here late in this race, and good to see the Luttrell Racing 36 of Steven work his way back up here, into the battle at the front, as he'll jump into that third spot as he battles door to door with the 46 of Skylar Berry, as the 56 of Jack Drucker jumps right back to the outside lane here, able to clear that 46, and Drucker once again looking for that race lead, man. I think their team, the Black Betty Racing team, they've definitely led the most laps here this evening, but man, look at these guys moving around down and out of corner number 4. That is always a scary sight to see, because that much movement, man, it's so easy for somebody to make a misjudgment on, whether or not they're clear of the car in front of them or behind them, or, just to their inside or outside. And having a big slip up like that, you can easily take somebody, turn yourself around, turn them around, and cause a big wreck out there on the racetrack. And this late in this race, for a lot of these drivers, they may not have any more quick repairs in their back pocket. They may not have any opportunity to continue on racing this afternoon if they do get tore up again out there on the speedway. So you're going to mind your P's and Q's. Make sure that you are clear, that you listen to your spotter, that you have have your friends kind of maybe give you a little helping hand here and there as you see a pair of the QH Designs rides work together, and now David Trailer will push the back bumper here with Skylar Barry, as it looked like Barry was able to get a decent run. The 54 kind of let him right on in there, squeeze that 46 in front of him, and now they're looking to try to battle back here, trying to work themselves maybe back around Jack Drucker, but you see that inside lane just once again not working out too well for them, but they're going to get teammates lined back up on the outside, but QH Designs rides now rolling second, third, and fourth in that inside groove as Eric Hegdal knew that Colton Hardy was going to make that move. He jumped down to the inside with them, and that will push Hegdal now out in front. So the Red Bull number 11 ride of Eric Hegdal has the top spot, has the race lead, and nice and easy out of corner number 4, back down into the tri-oval and across the line. They will complete lap number 69. Our favorite lap of the day, lap 69, gets clicked off the board here. 69 laps down. Next time by, it will be 30 laps left to go for these drivers. So, man, this is coming to a close here. It's taken a little while. It's taken a lot of laps, but quickly we're seeing our season opener come to a close here, and our first feature winner about to be displayed in a quick hurry for each and every one of these cats. Man, this is exactly what they came here for. This is what they wanted. This is the race that they needed here this evening, and it's going to be a heck of a show right down to the checkered flag. And obviously you see Drucker and that 48 ride up, Brennan McNutt once again hooked up in that outside lane, and they're just kind of towing the line here and driving the outside groove forward. And unfortunately for Hegdal, Colton Hardy, Barry, all these guys in the inside groove just does not seem like the inside lane is good enough, for their trucks just aren't good enough to really, stick with them and battle with them for an extended period of time, as they kind of fall apart again and fall a couple truck lengths back here of that Black Betty Racing team, as we have officially completed 70 laps of racing action. We have 30 laps left to go here this evening, as we'll jump back into another quick Peacemaker gaming. Crank it up. So again, crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite drivers. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. beautiful crank it up session as these drivers give us the sights and sounds around Daytona International Speedway here in our season opener with the Full Throttle Outlaws here in the winning bid 200 here this evening as a great crank it up, giving us the sights and sounds here this evening as we get 21 laps of racing action here this evening from the beautiful Daytona International Speedway. Is out in front. It's still Jack Drucker. Drucker continue to lead the way, but down to his inside, the Red Bull number 11 of Eric Hegdal. Hegdal has battled his way right back up here, man. They've been door to door, inching and beating and banging, battling side by side through these corners and down the straightaways, and no one's wanting to give an inch here, but man, it is getting down to the nitty-gritty as they completed lap number 80. It is only 20 laps left to go here this evening as the pay window just opened. For each and every one of these drivers, it is time to shine. It is time to race your way to the front of the field, try to put yourself into position to try to steal this win away here today and get your season started off on a high note here with either just a good run, good points day, or maybe try to put yourself up into victory lane, man. It's great to see drivers like Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. up there having such a great run. You look back there at Justin Lee up in 11th, and so many of these other drivers trying to battle through, trying to rebound here. Brandon Combs back there in 14th, Modesty in 15th. You look back at Clinton Woodby, Joey Yates, Wise, Hayden, some of these other drivers a little deeper in the field, but still kind of playing it coy here, trying to play it safe a little bit. Keith Prince is there, the 77 Evan Schilling, Haas Beverly, Andrew Hainsley. They're kind of bringing up the rear of this lead pack here. Unfortunately for Zach Kelly, he's kind of lost that draft. He's by his lonesome. Same with Harrison Crosby and that 59. Trevor McManus says they're going to see our race leaders catch up to them in a quick hurry here, and unfortunately already a lap down, I do believe, or I guess still on the lead lap here for Harrison Crosby and Zach Kelly, but they are quickly about to go a lap down here as our race leaders not too far off their back bumper, and the big question is going to be when they catch that lap traffic, how will they be able to navigate their way through it as things kind of getting broken up here a little bit. Just in behind the Black Betty Racing teammates here as Jack Drucker, Brandon McNutt, man, they've just been 1 and 2. They've been running smooth here. That team has just worked very nicely here all evening long, and things keep changing back behind them. Cars shuffling around, moving around here. We do see Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. has now left the outside lane. He's dropped down in front of the 11 ride here of Eric Hegdal, and unfortunately just seems like the inside lane again starting to fall back here, starting to lose that pace as you watch obviously the 56, the 48 pull away from him, but the 0-0 Cogdell now up into third. Skylar Berry clears them. He's now solidly there in fourth, and quickly lap traffic starting to become an issue. As you do see the 76, he'll clear that inside lane, but he'll join him here as he jumps down low in front of that 33 machine of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. Maybe that extra car may be what they needed to really get into this battle, to get back door to door here with Jack Drucker late in this race. As and okay, some more movement. Okay, here we go. QH Designs rides. They're going to move down low here. Here comes Nate Cogdell looking for the race lead. Skylar Berry going to go with them. Now they're door to door, down and out at corner number 4 here. Is Drucker going to do a little side draft there, try to kill a little bit of that speed, a little bit of that momentum away from that 0-0 back down across the line. Drucker will lead another lap as his teammate Brendan McNutt will stick right there with him on his back bumper, and they'll head back down into corner number 1. You see that lap traffic is just right there, and all of a sudden you see the 0-1 rooster on and move up the racetrack, and look who it is, the 28 of Brandon Combs. He's raced his way back up here. Combs all of a sudden right there into the mix, and now you see this lap traffic. Man, they're spread out. They're too wide here. This is going to slow things down here. We may see a bit of a stack up. Our race leaders, they got nowhere to go right here. And all of a sudden, this lap traffic parked on their front bumper. Man, I don't know why the lap traffic decided to go too wide right there and pull that move out of the book right there, because that just made things that much tougher for all of our drivers. McManus needs to just pull over and get out of the way here, because he is already multiple laps down and should not be putting up this big of a fight here with our lead lap pack. And obviously going to stay right there in front of the 0-0 ride of Cogdell. Cogdell all over his back bumper, and unfortunately that just kind of deteriorated that inside lane once again. They kind of broken apart, they've fallen apart, and now you just see the outside groove. That top three, man, it didn't take long, but Brandon Combs has raced his way back up here. He's found his teammates and now sitting, basically 1, 2, and 3 in that outside lane. The Black Betty Racing team again hooked up together late in this race, and it's going to be tough for these guys to mount a challenge, to mount a run, to try to jump up and beat them here this evening. But Rooster on it says, all right, it's my turn. I want the race lead. He's got the 38 rider, our boy Justin Lee, right there with him, but the caution flag will come out. So the caution flag is going to fly as Brian Cunningham goes around here. It looks like maybe Zach Kelly, a lap down driver, going to get tied up in it. Let's take a look here and see what happens, because this may have happened in front of him, or maybe not. Let's play it back here. Okay, so down and out of core number 4. 32 up the track, kind of falls back in line. Not really hugging that inside groove, and finally wants to get in line here behind the 24 Salino. Kind of cuts the 3 right of Keith Prince off, and then as it kind of cuts Prince off a little bit, it kind of gets Prince a little bent out of shape here. The Johnny Johnson Motorsports ride is off the apron, then unfortunately comes back up the racetrack into that left rear quarter panel, hooks him, turns him around. They both wash back up the racetrack. Nowhere to go for Andrew Hainsley. Hainsley ends up getting a ton of damage out of that as well, as he drives right into it, and that's where we see this caution flag come back out. Man, heartbreaker here for Andrew Hainsley. Really nothing he could do there. Trying to get up, trying to get out of the way. As Prince in the 32 ride, Brian Cunningham get tied together. 29, Andrew Hainsley, just kind of innocent bystander there, absolutely gets tore up in that one, and that will put us back under the caution flag here again late in this race. Now, we also saw Zach Kelly at the same time, kind of gets down the racetrack right here. I don't know if this is just them, kind of realizing that, okay, caution flag is out, we can roll out of it, and the 21 just drives down to the apron here and kind of gets checked up. 97 kind of follows him in there. I don't know if that was just a... he saw the 21 go down there and thought, okay, there's something happened in front of him. He jumps down there as well. Luckily enough, they're able to all keep it pointing in the right direction, and they don't get tore up or tied up there again late in this race. But nonetheless, another caution flag and another restart on the horizon, and this one's going to be fairly late in this race. Now, not NASCAR overtime, but we should see these drivers go back to green flag racing with about 11 laps left to go here in this feature event. In the late race restarts are really going to start to ramp up that intensity, really make things that much more interesting here late in this race, man. It's going to make things very, very wild, very, very quickly, but you are going to see pretty much everybody come down pit road. Yeah, it looks like everyone's coming down pit side. I think they all realized that they were either going to be really close on fuel or, it wasn't going to be worth staying out here. Except for maybe a couple gamblers here. Looks like John Salino's going to stay out. All right, we didn't see this one, so John Salino stays out. Evan Schilling also stays out. So for the 24 and the 77, they'll now be our race leaders. Going back to the restart here now, I'm not sure how their fuel is looking, if they will be good to go to that checkered flag. They're running a little deeper in the pack there, maybe running a whole lot less throttle, maybe they were able to save a lot of fuel, maybe they've gotten the green light, maybe they're good to go to lap 100, but I don't know if they're going to be good to lap 100 and beyond. We'll have to wait and see. As you do see the 59 ride there of McManus, he is in line here for the free pass, so he will get waved around and unfortunately still will not be back on the lead lap, as I believe, again, Zach Kelly going to get the lucky dog. So Zach Kelly gets another free pass, another lucky dog, and now gets a black flag coming down pit road. Too fast entering pit lane, and unfortunately, with that penalty, more than likely will fall behind the rest of the field. When we go back to the green flag here, he will fall behind them and not have the draft in. Maybe at risk of losing another lap here before the end of this race. I mean, maybe short enough laps that it may not have to worry about that. But Harrison Crosby still 1 lap down out there on the Speedway. I do believe Bruce Bernard also now 1 or 2 laps down now for Bruce Bernard. I believe 2 laps down for this number 17 ride. And Trevor McManus, he's getting the wave around. He will get a lap back, but I believe he's 3 laps down here at this point. And this will get him to 2 laps down. I mean, it's going to be tough to see, you know, maybe a couple more drivers like Harrison Crosby, Bruce Bernard, get free passes here. I mean, we would need to see 3, 4, 5 caution flags probably for Trevor McManus to maybe even get a lucky dog to get back onto the lead lap, and that's if no one else loses a singular lap out there on the Speedway. So I think for Trevor, he's still in a very, very tough spot. Could still be a 29th place finish here. His only break would be that some of these drivers late in this race cannot complete it and can't finish this feature event, and if he's got enough laps, maybe he can leapfrog them and steal a couple extra spots late in this race. But as of right now, tough sledding ahead here for the 59 ride. Is all right, stacked up, racked up, ready to roll here. It looks like it has been a bit of a, not extended, but an extra lap there, and for these drivers, they have completed a lap number 89, so the lights are off the official iRacing pace truck, and coming to the restart, it will be 10 laps left to go here in this feature event. So it is now a 10-lap shootout, binding some NASCAR overtime and some, you know, green-white checkers here on the horizon for these drivers. So that is going to be very interesting here. If we do see a couple green-white checkers, obviously for everyone that was just down pit road, they are going to be good on fuel. They're going to be good to go here. For a couple green-white checkers, they'll be good to go. But for Evan Schilling and John Salino, you know, are they going to be good? Are they going to have to come back down pit road later in this race if we do go to overtime here this evening? And who's going to be able to navigate their way to the front here first? Will it be that 0-1 Rooster Rodden? You do see Jack Drucker. He'll be restarting there in third. Now, he does have his teammates lined up right there with him nicely. That is always a good sign for Jack Drucker, as he will have Brandon Combs and the 48 ride, his third teammate out there on the Speedway. Brendan McNutt right there to his back bumper as the 3 Black Betty Racing rides currently sit there in 3rd, 5th, and 7th on the racetrack. Coming to the green flag is, here we go. Green flag is out. John Salino, big restart, big launch, and for that 24, he is able to pull down in front of the 77, able to get a big enough launch there that he clears the 77 quickly. And now it's all about, where do these guys go? Looks like the 48 ride can't quite pull up to his teammate's back bumper here. That may split them up here late in this race. So that may be exactly what the field wants to see. Does not want to see probably all 3 of them lined back up there on that outside lane. You see the 48. He's trying to work his way up there. He wants to get to Combs' back bumper, but just can't quite do it, as the 0-1 of Rooster Rodden is going to get shoved here from Drucker out in front here. So Drucker going to push the 0-1 Rooster Rodden to the point. Rodden now out in front, but look at the field back behind him. 3 wide battling back down and across the line. It is 9 laps left to go, and honestly, looking at how this field is stacked up right now, where everyone's at, how hard these guys are pushing and moving out there on the Speedway, I don't know if we're gonna get back to the checkered flag chat. I think we're gonna see another yellow flag here very, very soon. There's a lot of movement throughout the field. Everyone's trying to battle their way to the point. Here comes that 63 ride of Brody Bente, the 38 of Mr. Justin Lee. He's right there as Lee going to see the 0-1 ride a Rooster Rod and kind of get left high and dry as Jack Drucker gets to his outside and will take that race lead back away. So Drucker back out in front, Combs right on his back bumper. His teammates once again pushing their way to the point here. Justin Lee in position number 3, but he's going to leave the outside lane. Jumps down to the inside groove here, and for Justin Lee, that's a big move for him, as now he'll see that 0-1 of Rooster on and get to his back bumper. Now a big move into the 97 of Colton Hardy. He jumps down to the middle. Drucker throws a block. He's trying to keep him back there at bay. Will pick up his teammates here on the outside lane as the 48 ride of Brennan McNutt finally gets the runs he was looking for. Finally finds that groove and will get lined back up right to his teammates' back bumpers, but they're almost wrecking each other there in that outside lane as we saw the 28 of Brandon Gomes get up into the outside fence there. Down through 3 and 4 is there 3, 4 wide. Oh, look out, there goes the 76. Look out, Shane Morris sliding down through the grass as him and John Salino get tied together. No caution flag on the racetrack. It stays clean and green as John Salino and Shane Morris go for a slide here, and unfortunately no late race yellow. It stays clean and green, but they may be lucky here again in a quick hurry as the 76 slides up into the outside fence. Still no caution. Now we see another driver shoot down into the infield here. That's that 38 right of Justin Lee. He's going to try to migrate his way back onto the racing surface. 3, 4 wide down into corner number 3. Somehow or another, they're all able to keep themselves pointing the right direction as Brody Bente trying to race his way back up there. You do see the number 7 of Harrison Crosby right in that mix. Now, unfortunately for Harrison Crosby, he's a lap down, but man, having himself a great run. If he was on the lead lap here, just on the outside of the top 10, is look out the 22. Oh, baby, hang on to it. Haas Beverly bounces a couple times off the outside fence. Outside lane has to roll out of it. No caution flag. He's able to keep it pointing in the right direction. Woo, man, these guys are causing way too many close calls here late in this race as now Colton Hardy pulls down to the inside, trying to make the move around the 87 of Joe Yanks. Unfortunately, not too much help to his back bumper. Here comes Keith Prince. As you see, the 87 of Yanks moves up the racetrack here. He's got that 11 right of Eric Hegdel all over his back bumper, but it's still the Black Betty Racing trio here at the front of the field, sitting 1, 2, and 3 out there on the Speedway. These guys got to get a little bit more organized. They got to get a plan together if they want a chance or an opportunity to try to beat these guys as they're bouncing off one another again. There goes Eric Hegdel. He's turned around. Oh, Lee's in it. The 32's in it. Caution flag is back out on the Speedway late in this race. Colton Hardy tore up. He's turned around. Oh, the 0-1 of Rooster Rodden. He's going to get some heavy damage there, as well as the 32 of Brian Cunningham. But, man, big hits. Again, late in this race, and the caution flag will fly again here this evening. And now we should be heading, I think, close to NASCAR overtime, more than likely into NASCAR overtime. We knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. There was no way that these guys were keeping them pointing in the right direction here this late in the race. Watch the Red Bull Toyota here, a Hegdel. Tight racing. They're bouncing around, and it looks like maybe right here, I don't know if Modesty gets a little love nudge himself, but I think it's going to be Modesty that's going to get a shove. Watch that green and white 6 ride right here in the middle. Looks like he comes up the track right here, bounces off the 0-1 of Rooster Rodden into the left rear quarter panel of the 54 of David Trailer. That kind of hooks Trailer back down into the middle groove here, and that shoots him into the right rear quarter panel of the 11 ride of Hegdel. And as they get tied together, they bounce up into the outside fence. Nowhere to go here as Modesty's going to get more contact into it. Rooster Rana gets tied up into it. Then everyone else kind of gets plowed into it here. And you're going to watch, unfortunately, for the 97 ride. Man, he's kind of got nowhere to go as the 0-1 shoots down the racetrack here. For Colton Hardy here, let's take a look here at Colton. Colton just kind of minding his P's and Q's. Looks like he's maybe going to be in the clear, maybe be able to get around this. As he's going to see it happen, it goes to his outside. He stays on the apron, but right here gets clipped by that 0-1 up into the outside fence. Absolute incredible damage there to that 97 truck. You hear the engine expire there on it as well. And unfortunately for Colton Hardy, just absolutely nowhere to go. And that is Super Speedway racing in a nutshell, man. Just kind of mind your P's and Q's, down low, trying to keep yourself out of any of the chaos and mayhem late in this race. And unfortunately, just end up nowhere to go. And Get tied up in it. Boom. That's all he saw. All of a sudden, gets hooked. Sent right up into the outside fence, man. And potentially night over here for Colton Hardy and for a bunch of these drivers late in this race, as that caution flag is going to bring a lot of them down pit side. Now David Traylor does get a speeding penalty down pit road. Eric Hengel heads down pit side. John Celino, Zach Kelly's down there. Haas Beverly, I do believe Harrison Crosby's going to get the lucky dog here. So Crosby in a great spot. He's going to get the free pass back onto the lead lap. And for this 7 truck, that's a great thing, because he was in line. He was looking really stout here late in that run. Obviously, he's not going to have a whole lot of time to navigate his way back up there in these closing laps, but man, he may still have something left in the tank here to give himself a very good finish late in this race. Rooster Ronin, he's still down pit side. Brian Cunningham, he's down there. Bruce Bernard's back out. Trevor McManus, he's going to gain a couple more spots as Shane Morris here. Looks like Shane Morris and Colton Hardy still down pit side here. So for Morris and Hardy being parked down pit side, they're going to be down here for an extended period of time. And unfortunately for both drivers, already going a couple laps down out there on the racetrack. And not sure if they're going to rejoin us here for the finish of this feature event here this evening, as Jack Drucker out in front. It's the Black Betty Racing team sitting 1, 2, and 3. They got at least one more restart that they got to hit perfectly, that they got to get worked out, and they got to make sure that they can stay stacked together and hope that kind of hold off some more of these late race charges from the drivers back behind them if they want to try to complete this 1, 2, 3 finish here this evening. But they're going to have their work cut out for them. Is Matt Hayden there in 4th, Joe Yakes, Brody Bente, Rusty Modesty, Skylar Berry, Keith Prince, Nate Cogdell, our top 10, going to be looking to race their way back up into it. Evan Schilling there in 11th. Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Justin Lee in the 38 score there in 13th. Clinton Woodby, Stephen Luttrell, our top 15 out there on the racetrack, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to get back to battle here in this one. As Sniper Gaming says, was a good race, 76 out. He says, too much damage. That's a heartbreaker there for you, brother. Heartbreaker for the 76 ride. And unfortunately, I think for a few of these other drivers, man, the damage probably a little too much, too late in this race. And unfortunately, their night's kind of, unfortunately going the straw here with those closing lap wrecks. I mean, Hardy, I think, is one of them. You look at, obviously the 76 of Mr. Shane Morris here, Justin Duran, Brian Cunningham, he's still running out there. Same with Rooster Rodden, but I mean, their runs have kind of, come to an end here this afternoon as well. Zach Kelly's been up and down pit road. Same with Haas Beverly now. Bruce Bernard still, a lap or two down. Same with Trevor McManus, man. A lot of guys just, battling all day, trying to get themselves back into the action. Unfortunately, just have not been able to get up there, and it's going to make things very interesting here for these potentially final restart of the evening. And it's out in front, Jack Drucker, hoping to try to keep all these other drivers back there at bay. I'm sure he wouldn't mind losing it as long as it's one of his teammates that steal the win away from him. But this late in the race, how much teamwork is there? If you're Brandon Combs, if you're Brennan McNutt, you want to win this race as badly as Jack Drucker. Even though Drucker is the race leader, I mean, do you help him out? Do you play team player, or do you kind of go for the solo accolade and race for the dub yourself here this evening in our season opener here at the always amazing Daytona International Speedway, man? It's such a historical racetrack. It's the World Center of Racing. Each and every one of them want to find victory lane, and here we go. Down through the Overton's restart zone, Jack Drucker. Great restart. Brennan McNutt's going to stick right there with them as they head back down into corner number 1. Out there on the Speedway, it is the Black Betty Motorsports team again hooked up here. 1, 2, and 3, but already you see some moves. Here comes that 5 ride, Matt Hayden. We knew he wasn't going to wait very long in the 60 3. Brody Bente tries to go with them. Unfortunately, the 46 of Skylar Berry says, you know what, I'm just going to follow these guys right on through. I'm going to use it to his advantage. He'll jump in front of Matt Hayden. Now Hayden's got to push Skylar Berry potentially out in front of the field. Now here comes Keith Prince, the 0-0 of Mr. Cogdell here. Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. is right there into the battle. The 6 of Rusty Modesty. They're beating and banging, battling back down to the line. But here we go. White flag is displayed. So one more time around here this evening. Next flag will end this race. They will race back to the checkered flag no matter what. Even if they start to wreck, even if they start to pile up, there will be no caution flag. It is a race back to the checkered flag here this evening. Will anybody be able to get a run to be able to work their way to the back bumper or to the inside of this 56 of Jack Drucker, as Drucker just... Man, the outside lane just pull it away here. The 48 rider McNutt gonna push his teammate far enough out in front that they may be easy breezy sailing for the final time. Down through 3, out of 4 though, some big moves. There goes Keith Prince, he's around. Jack Drucker though looking to try to hang on to it. His teammates making moves behind him, but they won't get him as Jack Drucker will get it done and pick up the dub here in our season opener of the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League. As man, what a run, what a show, what a race. As this was a wild one right down to the checkered flag. And man, oh man, they were the best all evening long, chat. You gotta tip your cap when you see it. Jack Drucker, Brandon Combs, Brennan McNutt, our top 3 teammates here, rounding out the podium. Coming home 1, 2, and 3 here this evening. The Black Betty Racing Team able to get it done here in this one as they come home in the top 3 positions. Drucker with the W. Brandon Combs comes home in second, sealing that second spot late in the race away from Brennan McNutt. McNutt does slide back into position number 3 there in that 48 ride. Skylar Berry, Matt Hayden will round out our top 5 with Modesty, Bente, Zach Kelly. Man, how did Zach Kelly come home in 8th? What in the world? Zach Kelly, from going a lap down so many times out there this afternoon, ends up 8th here this afternoon late in this race, man. What a run there. Is Evan Schilling there in 9th, and our boy Justin Lee. Justin comes home in that 10th position, man. Great run there for Mr. Lee. Great run, great performance for him. But here we go. Our race winner, Jack Drucker, gonna celebrate here on the front straightaway here at Daytona International Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Mr. Drucker, man. That was a hell of a show, hell of a race that these guys put on for us here this evening, man. That was a amazing show. As Jay Lee, what's good, Mr. Lee, in the chat says 22nd and 10th off the 4th turn. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, hey, you know what? There was a few drivers that got through that carnage and ended up with some crazy finishes here. As Drucker's going to continue to celebrate, we will take a look back at that craziness out of core number 4 in just a couple more moments, as that was a wild finish, man. Wild finish, wild race, but man, we kind of knew it was going to be down to, you know, Jack Drucker, Combs, and McNutt. If they got lined up 1, 2, and 3, even just lined up 1 and 2 again out there on the racetrack, that they were going to be tough to beat there at the front of the field, and they proved it here late in this race. They were just hooked up. Best 3 trucks out there, at least together here this evening, and the other teams just could not get lined together or find the runs that they needed to try to steal that race lead away from them and keep them back there behind them here this evening, as they led a lot of laps and obviously pick up the podium here this evening. As we can take a look back here as Jack Drucker will take his car down pit side here. Let's take a look back to this finish. Is out of core number 4. We saw obviously Keith Prince and a lot of these other drivers get tied together and turned around. And unfortunately for Prince, he was just up inside the top 10. But man, they're 2, 3 wide here coming down and out of core number 4. You look at Nate Cogdell as the top 3 all jump down to the inside lane. I think the 3 ride maybe tries to go with them here. Maybe he sees them come down. He kind of comes down a little bit, or see if Cogdell maybe comes up. I see the 3 right kind of start to come down there. He starts to come down the racetrack, unfortunately, across the nose of that 0-0 ride. That puts Prince into the lap there of the 5 right of Matt Hayden. Luckily enough, Hayden's able to keep pointing in the right direction, but look at all these other drivers that are just going to pile into this one, man. Nowhere for these guys to go. You see a lot of them having to go down into the apron here to try to keep themselves out of the carnage. The 7 rides right there of Harrison Crosby as he comes home in 18th. Stephen Littrell's in there. 0-0 turned around. I don't even know, where does Justin Lee come from here, because Lee was way back behind these guys. He already had quite a bit of damage, and somehow he's just going to be able to navigate his way through the carnage here and come home with a very solid finish this afternoon. As look at the chaos coming to the checkered flag. He's just gonna find a hole, find a gap, use the infield as the 59 ride upside down here. Unfortunately, already a couple laps down there for that 59 ride. And for Justin Lee, comes home top 10 this afternoon as the 59 ride. Man, he was putting his nose in there a lot this afternoon, even being a couple laps down, but here he is, and that 21 ride coming into the pile up here and trying to navigate their way through it. And I mean, just not a whole lot of brakes there, just kept his foot in the throttle, gets tagged, goes upside down, goes for a wild ride. And unfortunately, any of those positions that he passed, any of the trucks that he passed there late in the race, doesn't really make a difference here, as he still finishes back in the 24th spot on the Speedway. But a crazy run, a crazy finish here this evening, and a lot of amazing racing action out there on the Speedway. But man, what a run, what a drive for Jack Drucker as he picks up the dub and pulls himself up into victory lane. We'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up here into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews. Hey, Jack, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, I do. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. Jack, man, what a run, what a race here this evening, brother. Take us back through it. Obviously, a long night, a very tough night. Obviously, a lot of beating and banging, a lot of restarts here, a lot of caution laps, but you and the team just on your A game here all evening long here. Able to win that heat race. You're able to jump up here and battle throughout this feature event, leading a ton of laps, and you know, you kind of got broken up with your teammates a couple times out there, but late in this race, you guys find each other once again, and once you kind of got, you know, even just 2 of you kind of tied together, it seemed like you guys were going to be, very, very tough to beat here. A lot of these guys had a very tough time trying to navigate their way around you guys, when you were even a 2-car tandem, but when you got the 3 of you guys together there, you, Combs, and McNutt, it was just game over for the rest of the field. And you guys showed it here late in this race, and you're able to just put the throttle down, pull far enough in front of them. You all drop down through corner number 4 to block that inside lane, and you were able to just drive back to the start finish line. And a 1-2-3 podium finish here for the Black Betty racing team. Man, take us back through this feature event. What's going through your mind?
Well, from start to finish, we came in here with a good plan. And before I say anything else about my race, I got to give a tip of the hat to those guys. They drove really smart, good races. I know Brandon was up and down quite a bit tonight with having to fix his truck a few times. So he did a good job getting through the field. I know Brandon was in some tough spots, getting pinned on the bottom. So he did a good job keeping his composure and getting back in the race. So yeah, I'm lucky enough to be the one talking to you first, but there's 2 really good drivers waiting for you on the other side of this. So couldn't ask for a better night, right? Good qualifying effort, won the duel. Feels good to check that off the list. And he's got a stage win too. That's a good thing. And then good race win tonight. So hopefully just the start of a good season, man. It's good to start out on a high note.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting out on a high note, picking up the first win here of the regular season, and obviously here at such a historic racetrack like the World Center of Racing, even here in iRacing, man. This is still just such a historic racetrack, such a beautiful place to come to, and anytime you can get a win here, not only in the simulator but in real life, man, it is just so thrilling and such a huge moment, man. Do you feel any of those emotions here as you're able to get down across the line and be able to get the dub here this afternoon?
Oh, it's always special to win no matter where you go. I don't care if we're taking New Smyrna, a little short track somewhere. We're taking Daytona. It's always special to win. But in terms of Daytona itself, yeah, I mean, it's hard to win here, right? It's usually not totally in your control. So to take 2 races in one night, and the big one is obviously special. So we'll take that. And like I said, it's gonna be a long season. Glad to start it on a high note. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just it kind of leaves you lost for words too, right? It's just a special place to win, like you said, and hopefully we're gonna get a few more here for the season's out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, after the run, after the performance here tonight, man, I'm sure we'll see you back up here in the booth quite a bit here this season, as that was a pure dominant night here for the team and for yourself as you park this beautiful 56 up and into victory lane. Jack, who would you like to thank here this afternoon for such a great run and great performance out there on the Speedway?
Oh, we got a great partner in Cincinnati Incorporated. Anytime you need press brakes, lasers, they got you covered. Any Hendrick Motorsports partner, got to give a shout to them. Thank you to the people watching. I got some friends and family out there, and one more tip of the cap to my teammates because they did a fantastic job tonight, and I'm just lucky enough to be the one to cross the line first.
Absolutely. Well, it's teamwork that makes the dream work. And here at Daytona, man, this is a place you really need it. And you guys had it all night long. And you come home 1, 2, and 3. Congrats here for the dub here at Daytona in our season opener here in the winning bid 200, Jack. And we can't wait to see you back in action again next Friday. And maybe right back up. You're continuing this hot start to the season off with another dub in race number 2 here in the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League.
Thanks so much, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
Appreciate you, buddy. We're gonna have some fun though. Have a good night, buddy.
You too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Jack Drucker, as Drucker gets it done and pulls himself up and into victory lane as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the number 28, it's Brandon Combs. Hey, Brandon, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Brandon, man, great run, great drive for you here this evening. Obviously, a little up and down throughout the middle portion of this feature event, but not once, not twice, but 3 times there. You get collected in some pretty big wrecks, and you just keep on battling your way back up here, passing a lot of trucks, working your way up to the front of the field, and finally here late in this race, you kind of find your teammates again. You get lined back up with Drucker and McNutt, and you guys just go to work, and then obviously late in this race, you're able to make that move down out of corner number 4. You're able to steal that extra spot away from McNutt there across the line. But man, what a show that you put on for us and your team put on for us here this evening. Obviously able to steal the podium away from the field.
Yeah, very special night for sure to get all 3 of us on the podium. Never really expected that. I don't think any of us really did. Yeah, you mentioned about an up and down day. I mean, that puts it lightly. It was kind of frustrating at one point, and yeah, just all the cards fell the right way to be able to get back up to the front and be able to see my teammates again. So that was kind of nice, and know that at least if I had to go to the back again, I could try to make it back up to the front. Did it a couple times, like you mentioned, and yeah, I mean, it was some good intense racing. I mean, in the duels, it was intense racing as well, and it definitely followed over into the race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was intense all night long, door to door, beating and banging, battling for every single inch out there on the Speedway. Nothing came easy, but man, you guys made it look easy here this evening as it's a 1, 2, 3 podium sweep here for the Black Betty Racing team here. Brandon, who would you like to thank this afternoon, though, for such a great run and great performance, not only for yourself, but for the team here in this one?
Yeah, just gotta say thanks to Brennan and Jack for kind of keeping all of us together and doing what we can to be able to work together. It definitely was hard at times, but I mean, it all worked out, thankfully. And yeah, I got Brendan for second though, so I can hold my head over him for the next week or so. But yeah, everyone over at Black Betty Racing, we did a great job, and we kind of had a game plan, but obviously when you go to a plate race, it normally never works out, and it just happened to work out for us, thankfully. And yeah, there's a lot of good hard racing, and thanks to, like I said, all the guys over there at Black Betty Racing. Bam Balam, baby.
Yes, sir. Bam-ba-lam. Oh, Black Betty, as you guys find your way up here onto the podium. Brandon, congrats on the second place run, man. Hot start here for the team. Hot start for yourself here on the season for the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League. We look forward to seeing you back in action again next Friday night, and maybe right back up here onto the podium, maybe right back up here into Victory Lane.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It's been nice talking to you 2 weeks in a row, so maybe we can make it 3 for 3 next week. That'd be nice. And yeah, thanks to once again everyone at the league that puts this on and does all the work in the back end that some people don't see and stuff. And thanks to you for giving us a live stream and giving us the opportunity to go back and see these races as well.
Absolutely, brother. Always my pleasure, Brandon. Congrats, though, on that second place run, and we'll see you back here again next week.
Yep, thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Brandon Combs. As Combs comes home in position number 2. Solid run, solid drive there for that 28 ride as we get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, the 48. It's Brennan McNutt who comes home in that third spot. Let's get Brennan up here into the booth. Hey, Brennan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Brennan, man, solid run, great drive for yourself here this afternoon. 48 truck hooked up here on the Speedway, and obviously you and the team working well together out there on the racetrack as you guys come home with a 1-2-3 podium sweep, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind here as the smoke settles here at Daytona International Speedway?
I mean, from the start, the goal is to finish 1, 2, 3. Brandon had a couple moments to where he was in the back, but the goal was for me and Jack just to keep up there. We knew Brandon would get up there eventually, and it all just worked out in the end, and it all just fixed itself.
Yeah, obviously a little bump here and there for you guys. We saw, obviously, Brandon kind of get tied up in a couple of those caution flags midway through this race. We saw you kind of get pinned down low a couple times out there in some of these late race restarts and really having to try to shuffle around and try to navigate your way back up there to the point here and to your teammate's back bumper. And it was really, really exciting to watch because obviously when it was kind of one guy up there with, if it was Drucker by himself or Combs kind of by himself or yourself, the other guys really had a shot. They could really work their way around him and battle with you guys, but once two of you got kind of lined up, it was a little bit tougher. We saw a whole lot less passes there for that race lead as you guys were able to just keep them back there at bay. And when we saw you guys, lined up 1, 2, and 3, it really left no open door for the drivers back behind you guys. And all of a sudden, in that closing laps, we see you kind of find your way from the bottom lane back up to the high side, and all of a sudden you shoot right to your teammate's back bumper, and that's kind of all she wrote. As soon as we saw you get back up to him, man, it was game over for the rest of the field, and they were just kind of hanging on for the ride and just hoping for the best there late in this race to come home for that 4th place.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the goal was just stuff happens so quick, and everything happens in a split of a second, any moment. You just got to be prepared. And as soon as I saw a gap in the middle and the top, I saw it, and then things just worked out to itself, and I got it back to my teammates, and yeah, everything worked out pretty well.
Yeah, worked out nicely for you guys here this evening as you round out the podium here at Daytona in our season opener here in the Winning Bid 200 from Daytona International Speedway. Brennan, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the Speedway?
My beautiful daughter, Emily, Ally, best friends, and my family pretty much, and thank you everyone for watching. It was a fun one.
Absolutely, and that's the key to it right there, man. Having fun, enjoying your time on the simulator, and obviously when you and the team get to come up here and round out the podium and seal that top 3 positions, it makes the night that much funner and that much better here as you park it up in that 3rd position. Brennan, congrats on the great run. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack again next Friday night, and maybe a couple spots better and beating your teammates and putting yourself up here in the victory lane.
Yes, sir. It was a fun one. Thank you for having me, and I hope you have a great night.
Absolutely, you as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Mr. Brennan McNutt. As McNutt comes home in position number 3, man. Solid run, solid drive there for that number 48 ride. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here in this one, man. Long night, a lot of laps, a lot of racing. I mean, what did we go? We went overtime here in this feature event. How many laps did we end up running? Did we end up running overtime here? I think we did. Yeah, we ran 101 laps in the feature event. We ran like 25 in the heat race, another 22 or something like that in the second heat race, and 145 laps. I mean, that's getting close and closer to that 375 miles of racing action here this evening. A lot of time, a lot of laps, a lot of great battles here this afternoon. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here in this one. It is past my bedtime. I'm going to get ready to hop off, go to bed here this evening, but we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and enjoying the racing action with us here this evening, man. Everyone that came in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man, we appreciate each and every single one of you, and can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and enjoying the show, enjoying the action here this evening. We can't wait to see you guys back in here again tomorrow night. We'll be back up here in the broadcast booth bringing in some more amazing racing action tomorrow evening, and hopefully we'll see you guys right back up here in the grandstands cheering on the drivers of our Saturday night series. And man, it's gonna be another great show, another great race, and some more amazing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for tuning in, thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Engines scream, asphalt burns, the grips a gamble. Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Hit stop quick, cruise move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected.